Hello, everybody, and welcome to Save or Die Outcasts. How are my favorite players in the whole wide world doing today?
You're like shit, Neil.
Nick, and Peachal and Potato are all doing well today.
There you go.
Oh, look at that. Everyone's getting along, finally, after how many years?
Close to 2.
We've been playing with this group for 2 years at this point.
Too long.
Not
Nick,
long
we've
enough.
flown to countries together twice.
I know. Yeah, I know.
That's how long we've known each other.
We didn't fly together, actually.
What? It was together for me.
Yeah. Spiritually.
Can't believe you'd shoot me down like that.
How could you do that to him? Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm doing okay. I've been a little bit sick. It seems that everyone in England has a cold / the flu / COVID at the moment. So
Everyone
I
in
got
Ireland
sick.
as well.
I got
It's
sick
floating
at
around.
TwitchCon. It was So great. I've fallen victim to that. But can't complain too much. It's been a busy week, but here we are playing a bit of D&D, so could be worse.
I got
just
sick
got back
at
from-
TwitchCon. It was great. I wanted to. It was.
Yep. The PAX
How was
flag.
TwitchCon?
Well, I was sick for most of it, so.
Rip.
But I got to do like the last day, so it was okay. That day was cool.
So you're just like sick and you're fucking sweet in Vegas.
Yep.
That's kind of shit, dude.
I booked like a huge Airbnb for all my friends. We were like 7 people, and I was quarantined off in the master bedroom, and they brought me food, and I was watching Worlds. It was actually quite nice. I had a really nice view over Vegas from the suite. It was good.
Nice.
Kick ass.
Nice.
Remembers what happens last episode.
That's where I was about to go.
I went to a
Where'd you go?
Discworld convention, and that was a lot of fun. A lot of
What is
boozing.
Discworld?
It's
Oh
a
my
Terry
God.
Pratchett. Terry Pratchett book nerds, basically. And I met a lot of really cool and interesting people. And I got to sell books. I got to man the desks. I got to get drunk. I got fed food.
Wait, why are you getting to sell the books?
Oh, I was helping.
His
My
lady sells
girlfriend's
books,
an
bro.
author, so we had a book stand.
Oh, sick. That's awesome.
It was
You're
sick.
not
It
gonna
was an awesome
plug-
weekend.
You're not going to plug our books in the chat.
The only thing he's gonna plug is your mom.
True.
Nice.
All right, what happened last week?
Well, let me just ask Peachal, since Jamie wasn't here, would you like to let us know who can do the recap?
Well, I think, Nick, that last time you did a recap, you did a great job. I think everyone really liked it. And you know what?
thanks,
I apologize for doubting you. I think you did a fantastic job. I think
All
you
right, I'll
could go
stop
ahead
giving
right
you a
again.
hard
yeah.
time now. I'll stop giving you a hard time about it. That cut deep more than anything else that you fuckers have said in the Reddit threads over the years. My recaps are good, okay, so I remember that shit. But I've actually got a good recap for you this week. We literally, for a reason that I can't remember, went into a random village. Oh, to buy some spell components from
Yeah,
a
you got a
wizard
list
who,
of things.
from a wizard who no longer lived there. You would think that would be the end of the episode. Oh, the wizard's no longer here. Their house is burnt down. Let's leave. Well, our green friend had other plans. And in an ill-fated encounter with the town guards when they were being racist to Growl for being a gnome, which I'll add that he isn't actually a gnome. So the perceived offense from the frog was maybe a little bit misplaced. Sent him over the edge. He pushed a town guard. The town guard obviously got upset,
Yeah.
reacted with anger, and then our frog decided to flee via the roofs of the building and did what only can be described as like something like the guy from Karate Kid might do after he won a fight. Like he was like on the roof, like spinning around his glaive, like showboating, hiding from the guards eventually, and then just decided to walk back into the tavern where we were waiting for him. And sat down. and
Well,
had a
you
couple of drinks.
walked with him into the
Yes.
tavern.
Yes, thereby, I'll just to make that point, just in case it wasn't clear to the viewers, thereby absorbing all of the guilt of this interaction into myself for walking with you those for that 2 seconds.
The man who does the recap gets to write the narrative. That's what I hear.
That's why I like to do it. Someone from the tavern must have went to the town guards. They came to the tavern. They confronted us, and an altercation eventually happened that resulted in the 2 guards being killed and us escaping.
One guard being killed.
However,
One was saved.
Growl had a very interesting encounter, which Peachal, surely you must remember. You can update on that because I've kind of skipped over here.
Yeah, so one of the guards in the town that we met, Growl was very sure to have met the person before, and he doesn't remember when and where. He was very sure that they used to be friends, and that this guy's name was Forrest. So they go up to the guy. It's like, obviously, because he's fucking Growl. He goes up. He's like, "Yo, Forrest, what's up, homie?" And Forrest's like, "I don't fucking. Do I fucking know you? Do I know you, mate?" But then he's like, "Yo, you're gonna blow my cover. What the fuck?" So we're like, now we're really confused. He's like, "Meet us out at the town," and then we meet him. He's like, "How the fuck do you know my real name?" And we're like, "We don't fucking know. He's a bear." And yeah, that's where we're at.
And does
Forrest
anyone
was a
remember...
member of the Fireflies, which is a organization hell-bent on destroying the Verossi Empire, doing terrorism, maybe a little bit of both. We're not sure. Yeah.
Yeah, but it seemed like, according to Forrest, that Autumn isn't who she says she is, or at least she's not been fully clear about who she is, what she's done, and what her intentions are. Because Forrest seemed to think that Autumn was like the great destroyer that killed his entire family.
Or at least some other also powerful wizard fighter who knows magic and is also named Autumn. But what are the chances that there's two great wizards named Autumn in the same region?
Seems
Pretty
unlikely.
high.
Autumn could just be pretending to be the other wizard, though. Who knows?
Yep.
Well, there's only one way to find out.
Yeah, I mean, I think we have to say something to her.
Yeah.
Like, get her
Well, the party then returned home. Not home, but to Serenity Tower, where Renatus Fur has recovered from his short illness. You were
Super
just
AIDS.
sick.
He had super AIDS. Neil.
Secrets.
Had it's an attack of extreme diverticulitis. So I was unable to shit and shitting too much.
The common
all at the
super
same
AIDS.
Yes.
No,
yeah,
it was
there
just-
They call it the
sadly.
super AIDS in this swamp.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but in more intellectual circles, it's called super adius.
Thank you. No, I was just ill. I was a sick boy.
With super AIDS.
Yeah, no, that's the important part.
Yeah.
No, he was just ill.
Super adius. Okay, so we return back to the tower. Is our journey from... Remind us, Neil, what the name of this town was.
Swampside is the town where you went to go meet the the shopkeeper. Her name was Aurelia Mystique, and she ran Mystiques, which was
That's right.
the wizard supply store that was
Mystiques,
burned down,
Mystiques.
and she was missing. Right, she wasn't found in the fire. Her body wasn't in the ashes. She was just AWOL, and the building was burned down. And it's the only good magic supply store for 100 miles, they say.
Yeah, so it's not a good
Big
sign.
deal.
Surely there's a magic supply store in Valebrook.
I mean, there's not that many wizards, right? How many magic supply stores can one region actually support?
Oh yeah, I don't know. I just would have thought it would be in
Yeah.
Valebrook, but maybe not. Okay.
One would think, but sometimes...
But I'm,
know.
I'm saying, do we know that there isn't? Is that what Autumn has
Yeah.
told us? Like Swampside is the only place.
Only magic supply store in 100 miles.
Okay, so I would like to pick up the story from as we're getting back to the tower then, because I feel like we gotta have pretty immediate conversations with Autumn about why
Yeah.
we don't have the stuff.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think you're arriving back at the tower. Everyone should be at full HP by now, or close enough. No encounters along the way. And you make your way back through the swamp. And you see Renatus Fur hanging out, healthy, revived, full of vigor and youth.
Renatus, you're looking well.
I'm so glad you've recovered from the super AIDS. It's a very dangerous disease.
No one said that he had super AIDS, Growl. Why are you lying to him?
I-
Welcome back, Renatus.
I always look well. Super AIDS? What is that? No, I wasn't feeling so good. When you get to my age, your body starts to betray you. I hope you don't. Well, I hope you do experience that, Growl, because that means you'll live a long and happy and hopefully healthy life.
Well, bears get very sick in the wild. When we get old, or there's worms all over our bodies. They go into our nose and our ass. It's not nice. I wish not to see that in my lifetime.
A quick death
Okay.
for you then.
Renatus, I didn't think I'd be saying this, but you were sorely missed on our last adventure. I had no inkling that the frog here was so out of control without your fatherly guidance. And I
Garp.
implore you that please don't leave us alone with him again, because the man or the thing is a liability, almost getting us killed and arrested.
I'm honestly shocked. I mean, I was out of commission. I'm honestly shocked that you guys. You've met the frog, right? You've met him, and you decided to take him on an adventure alone.
I didn't realize you had such a powerful command over him.
I shrug. He didn't tell me I couldn't go back into the tavern after killing 2 town guards. I don't understand what the problem was.
And like Renatus just like starts, massaging his forehead. We'll have to talk about the frog. Garp is headstrong. He is powerful. And honestly, he tries to deny it, and he acts like an asshole sometimes, but he does have a heart of gold. He's young, full of bluster, and we will be able to bring him around.
Well, I'm just
But he
saying, if
needs
I'd have
time.
known his brain was as smooth as his skin, I'd have thought twice about bringing him along.
Sometimes in the wild, there's gonna be bear who tries to take very big territory for himself by marking it all over, and it's way bigger than he should have. And then other bears comes there, and he just wants to fight them because he thinks that territory is his. I think maybe bullywugs are a little bit like that. Maybe they take a little bit too much territory for their own good, huh?
I don't know. Garp seems a little bit more human than most bullybugs. I mean, I don't think I've ever known a bullywug to get offended. They usually just attack.
I flip you off, and I wish you died from the super AIDS. And then I'll go inside.
Worse yet, Renatus, unfortunately, we failed on our mission, and I'm not sure how best to approach this with Autumn.
How
Wait,
Not
how did you
disappointed
fail?
her. I've not disappointed her yet. Maybe you have, but the
I've never
mage
disappointed
that
a
we were
woman in my
meant-
life.
of course. Then where's Mrs. Fur?
When you say that, I
Ooh.
get my smile slides off my face, and
that seems like
I
a mean
don't
qu-
say it,
that's-
but it's like you've hit somewhere
You
that
just got
doesn't
him.
feel good.
Yes.
I can't
Uh,
fucking stand you humans always quarreling over this stupid fucking shit. It's so immense. All of you have so many hidden emotions inside of you, and all you say stuff, and then it's like you're saying three different things at once, and I can't. You all just. What? We have things to work on together now, okay? We don't have time to talk about this bullshit, okay? Can we?
Well, talking is also a game that we play. It's
okay,
a
so let's
conversation.
play a game that actually gets us somewhere instead of, talking about this bullshit.
Okay,
I was right. So
how
to
did
get
you
to the
fail your
point,
mission?
The magic shop was burnt down. The mage disappeared.
And
That's
did
it.
you find
There's
her?
No way to. No, she was gone. There didn't seem to be any immediate leads, but the aforementioned events with Garp somewhat forced our hand to leave the town earlier than maybe our investigation warranted.
Is that you failing the mission, or is that you being sent on a doomed mission? Because presumably the shop was burnt down before you got there, and any
Right.
materials that were in the shop you wouldn't have been able to get anyway. So I don't necessarily think you failed the mission. I mean, you failed the mission of keeping Garp under control, very clearly, considering
I
the
hadn't
fact that there's
realized
two
that
more
was an
corpses.
objective. But yes.
That is our primary objective if we are to stay together. Speaking of which, we should probably, and I'll kind of wave my hand at each other, at like the other two, and I'll say, we should probably kind of think about what it means if we even want to work together long term. Because are we going to do we want to set up a base in this area? I quite like this area, but then there's a lot of really complicated politics, and I got a thing with this lady in that city. There's a whole variety of things that we need to talk about. going
well,
forward. But I think first things first, let's talk to Autumn. Let's
I
get
move
this
in a
out
bit
of the way.
closer and say, there's one more thing that we didn't mention that maybe we should talk about a bit more quietly. I motion for Grau to come in on this as well.
I lean forward and listen.
So when we got to the town, the initial interaction with the town guards that went south began because Grau recognized one of the town guards. He denied knowing him, but we followed up with him later. And Grau, you correct me if I'm wrong, but it seems like Grau certainly remembers this guy, but he has no recollection of ever knowing Grau. And on top of
He
that,
does not. But we
this
know
chap-
that I knew him because I knew his name. It was an unusual name.
That's right.
I didn't just
his
guess
real
it.
name.
And I know that I feel that I know him. I've met him before. I don't know when. I don't know where. But I've met him.
This guard was an undercover agent, some sort of terrorist or anti-state actor, claims that Autumn murdered his family and killed all of his people, or at least someone very closely fitting Autumn's description and name. So I don't know how much you know about her.
Now, this is a great moment to just interject what you've been up to this whole time, Renatus. It's been about 2 weeks since they left, and you spent some of that time sick. And in the remainder of the time, you were graciously allowed to live in Autumn's tower, but as per usual, you're only really allowed on the first floor. And then the small little garden around the tower, and then the swamp if you want. None of the upper floors are available to you. And so it's been a quiet time. Autumn spends most of her time doing her own stuff. You don't actually see her very often. She'll come down and have breakfast and dinner with you. And then you might bump into her occasionally, but for the most part, you were pretty lone. Just as how the tower functions when the party's not there.
Yeah, for sure. I think the majority of my time would have been spent sort of alone, recuperating, making sure that any healing that I needed to do was getting sorted, any rest, recuperation, all those things was getting done. I think some of my time would have been spent entertaining Lady Autumn, getting to know her, getting information out of her, whatever she was willing to share, whatever I could prize out of her, trying to charm her, trying to be friendly, and also just getting a better feel on her vibe. Some of my time would have also just been spent, like, you get bored when you're in a big old tower on your own, like go for walks in the nearby area. I would maybe just pick books off the shelves because I'm allowed in this area, so I'm touching everything. I'm checking it all out. And I'm also spending time with the dog. I'm making friends with him to see if he wants to be friends with me.
So first off, there's basically nothing of value, including books, anywhere on your floor of the tower. You would expect a wizard's tower to have books everywhere, and if they do, they're upstairs outside of the reaches of guests. Same thing with objects of value. There's some silverware, and you could maybe have swiped it, that sort of thing, but it would be obvious that it was missing because there was here's your set of stuff, and then the unseen servants take it away and bring it back. Overall, it's been a pretty boring area. You can give me a perception check to see if maybe there's something interesting that you've uncovered, but it looks, from a week of staying here, from 2 weeks of staying here, that it's all been very carefully maintained so that those on in the guest quarters...
Not good.
Yeah, that's not good. Those in the guest quarters have no access to anything of interest or value.
Okay. Sure. Do I get anything out of the conversations with her? Do I get anything out of playing with the dog, or maybe exploring the nearby area?
Leafy the dog seems to be pretty friendly. He spends maybe a quarter of the time down with you. Like, he'll come down with Autumn for breakfast, run around outside for a little bit. When breakfast is over, she'll bring him back up the tower, and then he'll come down. He'll be let down a little bit before dinner, and then he can run around and do his business and everything. You'll all have dinner together, and then after dinner, he'll come back upstairs as well.
Do I notice anything unusual about this dog's behavior? I'm pretty familiar with animals. I'm skilled in animal handling and animal training.
Give me an animal training check, please.
What does animal training use? Is it willpower?
You should just be able to click it on your character sheet.
The problem is the stat isn't what it was originally, so I'm not sure.
Stat's not what it was originally?
Yeah, I don't know how
Probably
to
never changed it from strength.
I never changed it from strength. So I need to figure out what my pluses and my minuses are.
I got your back. No. Whoops.
What was it
Oh my
called?
God.
Animal what?
Animal training.
Wisdom. It's a modifier of 0.
Excellent.
Animal training.
Willpower for you.
Willpower. Excellent. So I've got a 14. Boom. 26.
Excellent. Yeah, you'll notice the dog barks like dogs do, and it'll bark when it's up in the tower like dogs do. But there's something a little unusual. You know, sometimes when a dog will bark when it sees a thing, and oftentimes there's multiple barks in a row. Not always. Sometimes it's just like one little woof, little subwoofer from time to time. This seems to be, a nice loud single yap. And with the swamp, maybe the dog's at the window looking at something. But it would be weird for the dog to just like randomly bark into the swamp for nothing. Like usually they bark at something or on command. So maybe she's training the dog to do something and barking, on command. Maybe the dog is being used to like smell something out or detect something and barking to let her know. But the yapping of the dog is inconsistent, but very like precise and singular and just one at a time.
Okay.
So it might just be like her method of training, but there's something. It's being used somehow, maybe. Or maybe it's just a weird dog.
Maybe not.
Does the yelp sound pained at all, or is it just like an alerting yelp?
It's an alerting yelp. It's like, hey!
Okay. Like this is the one or thing.
Thing! Squirrel!
Okay. Yes. Yeah. Okay.
It's like the squirrel bark, but like it's only ever the one.
And okay. So the dog is a little unusual.
Yeah, and to go with that, it never seems to bark when it's running around doing its business in the garden area. It doesn't like alert on random shit in the swamp. It only ever barks up in the tower and only ever once at a time.
Interesting.
Up in the tower, or it barks like up to the top of the tower?
When it's in the tower on the upper floors away from Renatus Fur's attentions.
Awesome.
Anyway, that's the info of what was going on. Conversations with her were pretty minimal. She seems to tolerate you as a guest, but also is like, politely and having breakfast and dinner with you to maintain appearances. But then like, I've got shit to do. I'm going to go do my shit. And doesn't really engage very much other than like social politenesses, which at the same time, like she is providing you with food and shelter and a roof over your head and not asking for anything in return. And then she's also taking the time to like play hostess a little bit. So, yeah.
I would probably politely reciprocate her energy rather than trying to pry. I would try to be gently friendly. I would, I would make small talk and I would maybe query her as like, oh, is your work going well? And can I help?
You're not going to hit on her?
Small things like that. I think I would maybe try to charm her a little bit, like just playfully.
Why not?
But if she gives me any signals that she's not receptive at all, I would be like, and I feel like she would do that.
Give me your best charisma check.
Oh, listen, buddy. Charisma is my dump stat, okay? And yet, it is the place where I generate nat 20s and 18.
Oh.
Okay.
Almost had two wizards.
You get a pretty clear. I've got a lot of shit going on, and I'm very busy. A very polite.
She's busy.
Arm's length. I'm really into my work right now. It's not you. It's me. There's a lot going on in my life.
Does she at least flirt back, but in a kind of like, I'm saying no to you kind of way, or is she just straight up like shutting me down?
It's a pretty clear, like, I am not engaging in flirting. And if you try to make it a little bit more obvious, I will, I'll put up a little wall.
Okay. I engage in socially acceptable levels of flirting, and then when she makes it clear that she's not interested, I back off.
Perfect. Yeah. Then your week goes nicely. All right. Party back together. You're talking about this autumn woman and
Yeah.
what were
So
her
I
crimes
say,
that she's been accused of?
I think just like killing an entire village
Genocide?
of half-elves, yeah?
The most terrible crimes I've ever heard of, but it's humans sometimes don't tell the truth, right? Maybe Forrest was, or maybe someone told Forrest something that's not true, right?
That's true. I hadn't considered that. You're wise, Growl.
I think Forrest was there, though, when she allegedly did it.
Well, I can turn into humans and orcs and stuff. Maybe
true.
there's other people that can turn into humans and look just like them, and there's a lot of options. I know.
I'm present for this
Autumn.
conversation.
She took such good care of me.
Yep.
Yeah, I think so.
I say,
I'll pat your back.
I'll say, like, maybe we shouldn't be discussing the potential crimes of an extremely powerful wizard in their tower.
There's something weird going on. I don't know if it's worth addressing with her
Well,
directly.
I think if
Oh yes,
you're
hello, evil
confused on-
warlord who murdered half of the world. Could you please tell me about your murdering
Well,
now that you're
okay.
undercover?
Let me explain a little bit more of what I'm getting at here. It seems like Forrest and Grau have both had something momentous has happened to Grau. He's gained, I don't know what you would call it, Grau, awareness, magical power. This Forrest chap completely
I
forgot
remember things now.
his identity, or seems to have forgot his previous life where he knew Grau the bear. And now it seems like maybe Autumn has had a complete change of character, so I don't know. I mean, I'm prone to grandiose tales. Perhaps it's a life reading books inside a wizard tower, but it seems to me there might be more to this.
Okay, now that you've said that, that makes slightly more sense, but at the same time, I am shocked that you have managed to survive so long in the wilderness, considering your instinct for survival is, let me walk straight into that dragon's den.
Well, I'm a known murderer. I don't have much, love for the rules of engagement. I was thinking of bringing it up with her more on the angle of the memory and the change of what's going on with Forrest and Grau, and allude to what he said, not outright accuse her.
I trust Autumn. I think we should talk to her about it. I'm sure she will have insight on this. I'm sure she will tell us what's going on.
This feels
The
like
worst
something we
case
should have
is-
a vote.
Awesome. It's totally awesome that you guys trust Autumn. Here's the thing. Does she trust you? If she thinks you know about her being this evil giga wizard person who, what was it you said, like slaughtered entire villages and murdered all these
She
people?
did a bit of genocide.
Yeah.
A little bit of genocide.
She did a little bit of genocide. Oh, totally. And then she's just going to let us leave with that knowledge. We're just going to go out into the world, potentially revealing the location of her tower, where people can come and try to deal with her in revenge for what the things she has done. She's totally going to be like, yeah, you guys that have like this incredibly, compromising information about me, you're good.
I mean, I don't know if you've been around, but the government doesn't have too much qualms with the slaughtering of elves, and maybe she's working for that.
Oh, she was killing elves? Oh, okay, never mind.
Well, I think so, right? Am I remiss remembering that? Grau, you're the one who knows it. Forrest is an elf, right? Or at least a half-elf.
Wait, Neil, was he? He was, right?
He was a half-elf.
Yeah, a half-elf.
And he was talking about my people. I'm assuming he
Yeah.
meant all the half-elves, or maybe he just meant his village.
Well, yeah, I don't... Out of character, I don't know what a group of half-elves living together would even look like, because correct me if I'm wrong, Neil, but they're sterile, right? So, you wouldn't just have, a village of half-elves that all live together. That wouldn't really make sense.
That village would last for 100 years, and then
Maybe we could, just, leave out the part where Forrest said that Autumn was a murderous psychopath, and just bring up the point, you saw this guy that you recognized, you knew his name, but he doesn't remember you. What's going on with that? Maybe we just start there. And then we can say that he's undercover and he's a half-elf fighting against the state, blah, blah, blah. Maybe that's safer. What do you think, Renatus?
I think that's the wise path. Look, if you really think it's the right move to bring these things up to her, I'm not on board. I'm going to leave. But you can do that if you really think it's the right move. I like being alive. I just spent a week extremely sick. I just spent 2 weeks fairly sick. But I've got too much I want to achieve before I die. I've got too many scores to settle. And I'll lean back in my chair and pick up my small cup of tea. I've got too much tea to drink to take that kind of risk.
You've lived a long life of drinking tea already, old man.
You drink it like me, you'll live just as long.
The thing is, I'm not saying I necessarily trust Autumn, but the things that this man described don't seem to align with the person that we know here, the generosity that I've seen. I've seen the way she speaks to Garp and Grau, the care she shows them. I know the care she showed me. You know, I've done some work for her, but I've hardly earned my keep, especially considering the risk she has of housing me here. This just doesn't seem like the work of someone that would go and slaughter a village of half-elves or humans. It just doesn't add up.
Why do we care?
A carpenter will sharpen his saw, but that does not mean he loves it.
I'm not saying we care, necessarily. I'm saying that there's a bigger mystery at play here about this mage going missing, this undercover guard, Grau knowing him, but them not remembering each other, this seemingly case of mistaken identity with regards to Autumn. Something's going on here. Clearly she's at least tangentially involved, and if we want answers, I appreciate, Renatus, you weren't there. Maybe it doesn't bother you, but, you know, that was quite an intense journey that we've all just been on, and I'd like to get to the bottom of what's going on. Plus...
But the worst case is if she is all of that, she's trying to hide out here from it, and would probably kill us for knowing.
Then why even take us in to begin with?
She probably didn't think we would find out. The crimes that happened were on the other side of the continent.
Alright. Grau is like having an epiphany right now, and looking at everyone and realizing and like thinking back at everyone he's interacted with since he's entered society. Does everyone outside the forest just kill each other? And he points at Arrakis and he goes, "People say you killed a bunch of people."
Not a bunch.
Points at Garp. He says, "I watched you kill a bunch of people. I don't know what's going on with you,
and your
Renatus.
people kill each other as well?
Well, like for food, but not like."
We kill each other for
apparently
territory and for space.
the only person that trusted and helped me apparently killed a bunch of people. The person I remember who's my friend lies or says stuff that doesn't make sense. No. What? Oh.
Well, there is some god looking down upon us right now, laughing and smiling, forcing our hand to engage in levels of violence that would normally not be necessary for
I don't think
an
there was
adventure.
anything necessary about what any of you people did, actually. I don't think that...
I disagree.
You know, when
do you think
two
we
bears
shouldn't have
meet in the
killed that?
forest, fight and kill each other is the last thing that they ever do. They always
are a
run
little
away
bit
or
more
look for
vindictive.
food somewhere else or do anything, because the last thing you want is to end up with a bunch of bite and scratch marks on your body and die to the worms, okay? You avoid, and you don't just go out killing people. Why do all of you, why does every person I meet do this? It doesn't... I was gonna go to bear form. He's checked out this
There are
conversation.
countless reasons, Grau, many of which I think you would struggle to empathize with. You will kill for food, and humans will kill for food and shelter just like a bear will. But food and shelter to humans looks like relationships, gold, land, power.
Renatus
all
will
these
also say
things.
bitterly, and will kill for politics.
Well, what's politics if not deciding how to distribute all the food and land?
Yeah, Grau's in bear form.
Good question.
He doesn't care.
He asked a question that went in bear form. He's like, I don't care.
All right, let's head in. I'm gonna explain to Autumn about the magic shop.
Mm-hmm.
At least.
Yep. You
So I
can
go and
head
look for a.
into the tower. Ground floor, there's that door that goes up to the upper levels that you can't really get through. But as you come on into the tower, here comes Autumn coming down the doors. You walk in through that first set, and she is very conveniently coming down the stairs at the exact same time. And she gives you a nice, friendly wave and says, "Oh, Arrakis, you're back. Did you bring Garp with you? And where's my favorite Grau?"
They're all here, Autumn. Alas, though, I am missing something. The components that you asked for. Our friend
What?
here, Mystique of Mystiques. Well, I hope that you weren't close. Her shop has been burnt down and she's missing.
What? Mystique?
Of Mystiques,
Aurelia
Mystiques,
Mystique?
yes. Yes, Aurelia Mystique of Mystiques.
She shakes
In the
her
town
head.
of Mystique. No.
Storm side. Yeah.
Side.
You didn't get
Yeah,
anything
it
on the
seemed-
list then.
It had only just happened. The guards were searching the wreckage as we arrived in town.
Well, that is a real kick in the cooch, you know?
It's a bit strange as well, isn't it?
What is?
I don't know. The timing of it.
A shop being burned down right as we need supplies from it?
Yeah, well, it's a wizard shop. Is there many other wizards in this area? I mean,
No.
you must have been one of her main customers.
Yes.
And it's
Well,
burned
one of her
down just
customers,
before
I don't know about Maine. I'm not in on her finances, but honestly, you only find out shops are burned down when you arrive to buy things from them. So it's always a coincidence.
You're paranoid,
Renatus?
Arrakis.
Renatus has like a moment of realization, and he goes like, "Oh, there was that that lady I got acquainted with, and she seemed quite upset at the idea of there being other people nearby doing magical research. Is there even the slightest chance that she was behind the destruction of this magical store?"
Who's your acquaintance?
He's the magistrate.
Magistrate
Zara.
Vera.
She needs that store as much as I do. Where's she going to buy her supplies now?
Perhaps somebody in particular doesn't like wizards or ignorant townsfolk. Although, how long has the shop been there?
Cute.
Well, let's not overlook the obvious. When you hear hoofbeats, you think horses, not hippopotamus, not hippogriffs. Wizard shops have spell shops have a tendency to burn down flammable materials, spell casting going on back. Maybe she cast a web spell and forgot that she had a candle still lit in the room next door, and boom, there goes the shop. It's possible.
And where is she? She's gone. She's missing. And from the
Well,
looks of it,
that
she
is
cleared the
very
place
different.
out.
That's a very different problem altogether. If she is missing, then we're looking at kidnapping, right?
Or is
I'll look over to like Arrakis and I'll whisper to him as Autumn talks. Why aren't we telling her about the fireflies?
Yeah, I think we'll get there. Yeah, Autumn, there's one other thing that was quite strange. So there was a bit of an altercation with some of the guards. So I don't know if we can really be going back to Swampside, at least not Garp, anytime soon. But that aside,
She gives Garp the OU, hand, hips on the, fists on the hips, the head tilted to the side, like.
Garp just goes like,
Well, Grau, maybe you... Oh, I look over at Grau, he's a bear. I'll tell Grau's story on his behalf. So, one of the guards there, Grau recognized him. A half-elf. Grau said his name was Forrest. The guard claimed to have a different name, but later on sent a message to meet him after dark on the outskirts of town, which we did and spoke to him. Turns out this half-elf
Well, you never
is...
told me you had a friend named Forrest.
Turns out that this Forrest
He's
doesn't
muted.
recognize
Grau, you're muted.
Grau. Well, he's also in bear form.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Grau is out of transformations, and he on purpose went back into bear form because he can't deal with this. So he's just gonna look over and then look at everyone in the room, and like do a bear shrug and go back to like licking his genitals or whatever he's doing in the corner.
Nice.
Didn't
So,
even
yeah,
have to
this-
remove any ribs. Jesus, that's nice.
This half elf doesn't remember Grau at all, but Forest was his real name, so
Oh,
Grau did know him at some point. The other thing is that he's an undercover agent working against the Empire, pretending to be a town guard. Yeah,
An
looking
undercover
for-
agent for the Fireflies.
That's right.
And I'll check her. I'm gonna gauge her reaction.
yeah. Give me a charisma check.
That's the dump stat.
14. She seems honestly surprised. She follows it up with the, "Who are the Fireflies?"
Says that they're out for revenge because they're well, it seemed like they described their people being slaughtered. By
Yes. Well, goddess of death and destruction. If you build your kingdom or your empire, in her name, there tends to be a little bit of destruction
Sure.
and murder and mayhem. That makes sense.
yeah. He said it was burnt down by a wizard. I don't know if he meant Zara or someone else.
The shop was burnt down, or his people was
No,
burnt down?
his people slaughtered by a wizard and a fighter.
I'll kind of look
Together,
uncomfortable at this.
Well, do you know who his people are?
No, we're not sure. He wouldn't really talk to us because of what happened with the guards. He was worried.
Well, that's sadly all too common of a story in this age. They say if you want to make an omelet, you have to break a few eggs, and if you're gonna make an empire, you have to slaughter a few 100,000 people who stand against you. At least if you're making one this large. And she sort of motions to the Verossi Empire all around you. That's a real shame. Well, Grau, when you've rested and eaten, I would love to speak to you and talk to you about this forest fellow. I think this could be a really fascinating thing. You recognize someone and remember their name. They don't remember you. There's a lot of social implications here. We'll talk about it later when you're up to it. I guess then you have a whole bunch of money to give me back.
That's right. Yeah.
She just holds out her hand.
Who has the money, guys? You have it.
I think you had it. No, I don't have it.
How much did she give us?
Whatever she gave us, Neil.
Someone has it, and you haven't spent it.
Someone has
right?
it, and we haven't spent
Okay.
it.
You give it back to her. And then she'll pick through it and be like, "Well, you did the work I asked you, but you did not come back with the tools I needed, so I can't, in good faith, pay you 100% of your fees, but I could give you 75." And so instead of handing over 300 gold, she'll hand you 225 gold,
Oh,
which
the-
can be divided
Holy
between the
shit.
three
Brilliant.
of you.
75 each. That is most
Yeah.
generous, Sultan.
Well, it is what it is.
Say, I don't mean to take so much of your time, but can we speak at some point in the next few days? I want to.
I'm here right now.
Okay, well, yeah, I'm taking a lot of your time here, but I was wondering if you know where there might be a library in this area. I don't know, perhaps you have one yourself. I was looking to do a little bit of research, follow up on some stories and some rumors that I've been holding on to for a few years.
I do believe that all of the public libraries have been consolidated into the temple to Mathis and Safia in Vale Brook. There are plenty of private libraries scattered around, although I haven't the foggiest idea of what their contents may be. But the public libraries are all gathered together in the capital.
I don't want to overstep the line here, but do you not have a private library of your own?
I do, yes.
Is there, perhaps in lieu of payment, I say, holding out the bag of gold?
No.
understand. I take the gold back.
I was actually wondering if I could talk to you, Autumn, after dinner tonight.
Oh,
A
why
few private
not right now?
questions. It's more private matters. I look around.
Are we not amongst friends? Isn't this not a private conversation?
I have
We
no desire
are.
to learn of the frog's private business. I say, well, thank you for being so generous, Autumn, and I'll give a nod to the assembled party and walk off to get washed or whatever.
Yep. Autumn will walk to, maybe outside of the tower into the garden with you if you're trying to get away from prying ears. But they're just, right over there. If anyone's really listening, Renatus,
Okay.
then they might be able to make a check to hear in.
I'll talk lower. And say, I've been walking around in this form for quite a while now, and I think you and I are pretty good friends. Is it possible that you could turn me back to be a human?
Tell me, you're a human?
We've talked about this before.
Never quite so on the nose. I had my suspicions, but well, tell me a little bit about how you came to be.
I don't think that you need to entirely know all of that. Just know I was turned into a frog, and I would like to go back. I would like to be my old regular form.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been doing jobs for you for a while now, and I think maybe I could have some service.
Well, these things all sound great, but how you came to be, it very much has quite a lot to do with undoing such a thing. So you'll have to tell me all the details of who you are and how you came to be in this form for me to prescribe a solution. It's not as simple as just abracadabra, be a man. If it was, that would be wonderful. But unfortunately, magic is a little more complicated, and the spells used to make you who you are usually need to be divined and reversed.
Fine, I respect and understand all of that. I was turned into a human by another human, by a wizard. That should give you enough. It's a spell. It was not a hag.
You're
I'm
gonna
not
have
going
to
to
give
spill
me
my
a little
whole
more.
life story to you right here in the garden, Autumn. If you want to hear about this, you'll have to wine and dine me first.
I believe it's you who must do the wining and dining, sir. You're asking me for the favor. Could you tell me why they turned you into a frog, into a bullywug?
There was a disagreement. And it was a form of, I would say, torture.
I see.
A form of suffering is why I was made into a bullywug.
See. Do you know who this person was? Could you give me a name or a...
Does he know a name?
Yeah, I think you probably have a name. There was a...
I can give a location.
Yeah, well, why don't you take a name off of the Patreon list of names?
Oh, this is a good one.
Yeah, make it a good one.
Second, because I gotta open up that list. Alrighty. That is going to be... let's go with Willow.
A human named Willow turned you into a bullywug out of retribution. And what did you... out of suffering. And what did you do to incur the suffering?
More of the sins of the father than what I did.
Ah. See. And is this Willow part of the Empire?
He nods.
She. Well, why don't you give me 3 months, and I'll see what I can find out about this Willow person, at least what type of spells they might have access to, or where they might be. Do you have a location where this happened?
He does have a location. I don't remember the exact name of the location.
Well, it was the city of Vantis.
Yes. And he will give the city.
Vantis.
How long ago? A few years ago? Or like
3
3,
years ago?
4?
Yeah.
3 years ago in the city of Vantis.
I see. That's one of the northern cities, right? Near the edge of the Frost Plains. Okay.
Nods.
Okay. Well, come back in 3 months, and I might have some information for you, and we can put together a plan, and we'll talk about payments, and
You might
You
have
know.
information? How do you not know? It's just a spell, right?
oh, sweetie. I'm sure from the outside I make it look easy, but it's not easy to know all the things and do all the things and have access to the magic is very complicated, and I don't mean to dismiss your desires to have this done quickly, but these things can't just be fingers snapped and it's all over. We're living in this is no longer the age of heroes. This is the age of, well, I suppose it's the age of a growing empire, and magic is not what it once was, and it takes quite a bit of dedication and practice to make even a little progress.
Kind of just nods his head. This also could have been some sick trick by a cleric. I'm not 100% sure if it's a wizard or a cleric, I guess. Kind of shrugs.
Well, if you want to aid me in undoing all of this, maybe you could go back home to the city and see if there's anyone around who would have remembered this person from 3 years ago, and if you could gather any information on this person, including their presence,
He'll kinda
location, if possible.
Look
then
over and yell, "Old man, get over here."
I would also like to roll my eavesdrop now, because if I rolled it before, he might change what he would say.
Oh, that's okay.
excellent. Roll that eavesdrop.
What do you want? A detect noise?
I do.
Boom.
Oh,
I got it
it's a
all.
success. Yes, you had to stay at a distance that no one would ever have thought you could hear you at, and then he had speaking with a lower tone on top of that. So a simple perception check would never have passed, but a detect noise, well, that's what rogues do. And yeah, you've overheard the whole thing.
I heard it all, okay? Moot, I know everything. I know everything you just said, and I'm
Good.
keeping it to myself. I make my way over cheerfully. I'm like, hey, what's up, guys? How's it going?
Well, you wanted someone who might know, he said to Autumn.
Do you know this man's? Do you know about this spellcaster named Willow? Whether they're cleric or a priest, where they live, where they come from, what's their source of magic, black robes, white robes, red robes, which god or goddess they pray to.
I'm going to out of character DM Neil. Give me 1 second. What do I know? That is the question.
Excellent.
I have a cat on my desk right now. It's pretty nice.
Ooh, I do like the cat. I think if Renatus, is going to take the stance that you should accept who you are and not try to change back to being a human.
And that's okay.
Because if depending
We're
on
not
how
dead yet. Sorry, go ahead.
depending on how things happened, that kind of impacts on what my character might know. I do know, and this is where I'll speak up as I'm thinking, and I'm hemming and hawing, and I'm like, well, I was a bit indisposed at the time, but I do remember that they had black robes and they wore a symbol of Verasi on their neck.
likely a cleric with that description, but I think a good wizard of the Empire might also carry around such a symbol. If this is something you care about, I would recommend going back and investigating and
Can't go
returning to
back,
me.
Autumn. There's no going back. You're a wizard. Can't you just figure this out? Can't you read a book here and there? If you can't, then I'll just go ask Arrakis. I'm sure he'll know.
That sounds lovely. I can't wait for Arrakis to help you out with this.
Garp,
He'll storm off, or he'll start storming off.
I apologize for Garp. I'll kind of watch him leave. And I'll say, even before they turned him, he hadn't learned to accept himself or calm his temper. We can't go back. Garp is too well known, and so am I. To go back
that sounds
would
like
be
you
a death
need
sentence.
help.
Yep.
Yeah. I wonder where you could find such help.
I hear there's a
Because-
wizard and a bear hanging around here. Do you think they would be down for a quest?
I think they could afford your prices, or what you could afford to pay, they could accept. Because
Ooh.
I'm pretty certain there are not enough silver spoons in the whole of the swamp to cover even one of my spells.
Speaking of which, you still need spell components.
Oh, absolutely. But if that shop is burned down, I'll have to find them my way, the old-fashioned way. And if you all want to run around the swamp for 6 months finding things, we could do that. But I have my other methods.
There are further out magical shops, surely. Well, maybe a different time. Maybe you can find things your own way.
You just hear Garp in the distance screaming for Arrakis.
Lady Autumn.
You're muted, Nick. You fool.
Yeah, I'm probably like outside somewhere getting a wash, so I probably do hear you, but I probably ignore you.
Lady Autumn. I've spent 2 weeks in your presence now. What is it about Grau, the bullywug, and the wizard, and even I, a decrepit man? What is it about us that you see value in? No one else would see that value.
Well, how could you not like Grau?
He is cuddly and innocent.
Mm-hmm. And Arrakis has some skills and knowledge that were helpful in the last 2 jobs, but I don't have any more jobs for the time being. And Garp was an interesting character. You know, you see a bullywug in the swamp, but sitting with good posture and eating with a fork and spoon and knife, and you just have to know more. And then you just came along with Garp.
Feels weird to be a tag-along. One last question before I let you go. Why does the dog bark?
Excuse me?
I've never known a dog to not bark when it runs around. But when he's up in your library, I assume, he barks.
Yes. Well, there's like a long pause, and she's like looking up off into the top right corner of her eyes, thinking of a response. And then she comes down to you and says, Leafy, Leafy is my emotional support dog, and when I start to drift off into uncomfortable areas, Leafy gives me a little bark and snaps me back to reality. That's what he does. That's why he barks.
Make her roll a charisma check.
I roll that. That's a roll. Do I need to
She's-
oppose
You're gonna
roll?
need to. Yeah. If you think she's lying, you're.
Oh, I fucking buy it.
wow.
Hook, line, and sinker.
I mean, who would say that if it wasn't true? Who would say that I am, Yeah.
She just has an emotional support.
I think a 1 means I know. I don't think it means I believe her because it's obviously a ridiculous story. But I think it means she's so good at lying that I can't tell.
Mm-hmm.
Like there is not even a hint, even though I don't believe what she's told me. It feels out of character for me to be like, yeah, I guess that's true. Hi, yeah, totally.
But the line is delivered so well that like there's no wiggle room for cover. You don't necessarily have to believe what she says, but she definitely doesn't look or feel like she's lying. It's just your gut that's screaming at you. What wizard needs an emotional support dog in a swamp? That's a ridiculous premise. That could never be.
Do you know what it was like? It's like she told me a lie, and she wanted me to, and she didn't care whether or not I knew if she was lying, but she just wanted to demonstrate how good she is. Like it was kind of a display of power. It's like you're not important enough to make up a good lie to.
Yeah.
And I gracefully say, oh, well, thank you for your time, Lady Autumn. I have no more need. Hopefully we can stay here for another day or two while we figure out our plans. I hope we haven't overstayed our welcome. And I hope we're welcome back.
Well, I will be in contact if I need anything from you, and if you are coming through the mall at any point, do feel free to come by for a chat.
Will do.
Of course, it's getting late this evening, so if the 4 of you would like to stay one more night, that's fine. But then we shall say our goodbyes upon the morning.
Thank you very much for your time, my lady. And I give her a sweeping bow in the proper etiquette form, of my people. If someone were watching, they could maybe place where I'm from based on the custom. But I give her a bow of etiquette.
And as you begin to walk off, she'll say, "Excuse me, Lord Renatus."
She says that? I stop when I turn.
And she will now make a charisma check versus your face. Where is her character sheet? Autumn. Charisma check versus your face. Were you trying to hide anything from your face as you turned and stopped mid-stride?
She called me Lord. So I turned because I was curious. I was like, Lord Renatus. I'm like, what?
Okay.
What'd she roll?
The DM's rolls are secret.
Oh my.
She gazes upon
rolls
your
are secret
face.
now.
Sure they are, bud. She gazes upon your face for a moment and says, "Thank you for helping ease all of our fine friends together."
It was absolutely my pleasure to be of service.
And I think with that, you can go. Garp can find Arrakis. We can go to our first break, and when we come back, we're going to see what the party is going to get themselves into, because it's certainly not going to be peaceful, cozy, fun time vibes. Someone's going to die. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Save or Die Outcasts. So, Garp, you wanted to go talk to Arrakis?
Yep.
Yes, you will find me having freshly cleaned myself with a towel around my neck.
Naked?
Not naked. I think I'm just probably like shirtless, reading a book.
How hot are you? How buff are you?
Yeah. What's your con, and what's your height, and what's your weight, and what's your strength?
My height is 5'11". My weight is, I'm not sure about the weight. I've got 160, but I'm not sure.
Oh, it's pretty thin. Yeah.
Yeah, but he's strength 10, con 7, so he's not like a big guy.
I mean, it's not super thin.
And what's your hotness?
Okay.
Would you
I don't know if did I roll hotness? I don't think I did.
I don't think
you can
did.
pick it.
You could
I think he's like a 12 or a 13
Okay.
maybe. You know, he's not bad looking. But
the upper end of average, you know.
yeah. It's just where I feel most comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
I'll come up
Yeah.
to
I instinctively
Arrakis.
closed the book and put it to my side.
You're a wizard, right?
That is correct. Very observant, Garp.
Okay. Do you know anything about I don't know, polymorph spells, people being turned into other forms?
Yes, I read a great deal about polymorph and such effects.
Okay, well, I'm done being a bullywug, so you can turn me back now.
Turn you back into
And
what?
like, wait. Back to a human.
You're a human? I can't just...
Yeah.
there's a difference between reversing a spell and turning someone permanently into a different race.
Well, it must have been a spell cast on me, right? You don't just wake
Wait.
up the next day as a bullywug.
You're saying you were born a human?
Yes, I was born a human.
I shake
Have you
my
ever
head
seen a
and say,
talking bullywug walking around?
I was willing to give you the benefit of the doubt because I assumed that you'd not been raised in civilized society, but I see that excuse has flown out the window with the rest of it.
Is Grau in the
well-
room for this conversation?
I
Around
think you're
with the
licking your
Arrakis?
nuts nearby. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're probably nearby licking your nuts.
Yeah, he's very intrigued by this now.
You can listen.
I hate to burst your bubble, Garp, and I assume that I'm not the first wizard you've asked this question to, but the power to polymorph is beyond
No, I
my-
asked Autumn, and then Autumn said it was going to take her 3 months, and I said, Arrakis is a far greater wizard than you. I'm sure he can do it faster.
Well, I appreciate the compliments, but I'm afraid your loyalty is misplaced. Autumn is more powerful than I. I'm far from being able to cast such a spell. However, if we were to journey together to the point that I could cast such a spell, I'm assuming at that point I'd have grown to at least tolerate you, so I would be willing to. I'd be willing to cast it for you at that point, but I'm afraid it's going to take longer than 3 months.
Okay, well, Autumn wanted me to go home, and that's not an option. So how long do you think this will take?
Depends how much trouble we can get ourselves into between now and then.
Okay, so in and out 6 months, you think?
Potentially, I mean, I do have some ideas if we're. Well, I don't know if our host here has any more tasks for us.
No, we need to leave here. Autumn doesn't know what's going on. She's not willing to help. I don't have use for her anymore. Sounds like you're
Interesting.
willing to help, so let's go. What do you need?
Well-
How can I help you?
Well, I'm afraid that Garp, I can't bring you along on the next stage of my journey here unless you understand that keeping a low profile for me is a matter of life and death. We can't be going around getting into altercations with anyone inside towns or cities, never mind the town guard.
Yeah,
I'm going to
absolutely.
need you to understand that if we're to travel together any longer.
Sure, deal. I won't fight any town guard unless you tell me to. Deal.
Okay.
Just
Well,
let's hurry this up. Get you your spells, your books, whatever you need, and you turn me back to a human, and we move our separate ways. We're done.
Well, perhaps we should gather the rest of our group here, but I do have something that I've been thinking about. Truly the reason why I came down this direction in the first place.
Renatus
Something out there in the swamp. You could prove a valuable ally.
Renatus will follow me anywhere I go. He's like a creepy, weird stalker kind of guy. And I'm sure the bear. I'll look over. Is the bear watching?
Yeah.
I'm sure you actually want to be a human, right? I wait for him to like.
He's gonna put his head to the side and shake it extremely hard.
Okay, well, I'm not actually sure what the bear wants, so if the bear wants to come, he could be useful. If he doesn't want to come, then
I think
shrug.
Garp wants to learn the ways of the humans. You know, he wants to be like us. You know, walk like us, talk like us.
I don't know if he does anymore.
Grau is gonna. Grau's just gonna shake his head, but he's gonna indicate with his body language. He's gonna like walk around you, and like sit down by your side to indicate like I'm with you. I'm coming with you.
Okay. Well, the first step then is we need to go back to Veilbrook. If Autumn won't let me use her library, then I'll need to do the last bits of my research there. I'm afraid I'd exhausted the texts from the mainland, and something so specific to this area likely can only find information about it here.
Okay, yeah, whatever gets this done the fastest.
Okay, well, I don't know. I'm in the middle of learning a spell that might be useful for us. Are we not welcome here any longer?
I think Autumn will keep us as welcome as we would like to stay, but we should go and we should do this quickly. What are you learning? Meteor strike? Fireball?
No. It will allow me to speak with the denizens of the swamp.
What do you mean? What are you learning?
A spell to speak with people who talk a different
like
tongue to you.
Like a spell to speak with anyone.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay,
Yeah.
that could be useful.
I hopefully I can finish it today. I say, looking back to my book and at the party around me, depending on time, of course. It may take an extra day or so.
Let me, you learn your spell. I'll give you some space, and if you need me, you call me. I'm around.
Well, I could do with it. I obviously need to do as much studying as I can. I was going to go to the restroom to get myself a cup of tea, but perhaps.
Oh no! Don't worry about it. I'll go grab it for you. Whatever
Thank you,
makes this
Garp.
quicker and faster.
Thank you. Yeah.
I'll go grab him some tea.
I tentatively think about putting my feet up on Brow's hairy body, but I think better of it and open back to my book. So Neil, I want to try and learn comprehend languages. We're still doing it's D2 days per spell level, right?
Yep.
So it could be 1 day, could be 2. Yeah.
Yep. Although it's weird that you're doing it now because you spent all day walking today and you need like a full day to learn the spell. But
Well, I don't know. Is that true? I mean, have we just arrived at night, or is it?
yeah, you got here usually at the end of your day. Not like end, not like sun is setting, but you normally have to
Most of
rest
the
in the
day's
swamp
work.
at that fork where you guys murdered that halfling.
We did not
and then
murder.
it's a half day. You absolutely murdered. And it's like
She
a half
couldn't
day from there.
breathe.
Did I not
For
have been doing a bit
self-defense.
of reading along the way back?
Studying spell research requires focus, and spell learning
He's a stickler
requires
for this stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm a
I know, I
stickler.
know,
That's the nerf on wizards, is that they need to like sit and chill to gain their
Oh,
power.
I know that. I'm saying, but I'm saying that like there's still a few hours left in today. Can I not maybe get a day's learning in if we factor in the fact that I've been kind of perusing it for the last 2 weeks?
No,
We'll just call it.
He's a stickler
chill
for the
and do
rules,
your-
Nick. You
your
know how he
rule.
is here.
Yeah.
Okay,
Sit
but you're gonna
down,
kick
you
us
know,
out.
learn.
You're gonna kick us out of the tower tomorrow.
I'm gonna kick you out of the tower. Yeah. Just stay at a roadside inn for 2 nights.
Okay,
Wait,
yeah.
Why do you want to talk to people? We've been killing them, and it's been going just fine.
Bro, we should just keep killing people. It's easy.
Oh, Renatus, you're here. I was meaning to have a chat with you actually, with all of you, but maybe we can do it in the morning when Grau can.
I'll kind of waddle back with the tea. Oh, you got your tea.
Ah, thank you, Garp. This is perfect. Although I take a sip.
I do need to speak to Garp as well.
Hey, I don't suppose that Autumn had any honey, did she? The sweetening?
I'll give you a look.
This is a
No,
wizard
there's
tower,
no
not
honey.
a
Oh,
recreational.
no problem. No problem at all. No problem at all. It's fine as it is.
What do you want? I look at Renatus.
I asked Garp to take a walk with me. Garp,
Sighs.
Let's go for a walk.
Fine.
And we start to walk around the grounds of the tower. And
You know, Arrakis is he's gonna turn me back, right?
yeah, he might. Will you have learned anything if you're turned back?
What do you mean learned anything?
If I'll sigh.
What's there to learn?
If you engage in battle and you take a scar, your body learns from that. You are changed physically, but also in your experience and understanding of the world. If you can have that learning without carrying the scars, do you really have that knowledge? Have you really overcome it? What if the act of turning you back takes away all of the lessons and knowledge that you should be learning as a bullywug.
Just because as a child I put my hand into the fire for a second and learn it's hot and don't get a burn doesn't mean I didn't learn anything. Now, what happened
That's interesting
to me and what
because you've been
happened...
putting your hand in the fire every single opportunity you've been getting.
Listen, what happened to you and I was some fucked up shit. And we didn't have any... It wasn't in our control. And once we're turned back, it's gonna all go back. Father's gonna welcome me back in. It'll be fine. He didn't want this either. I'm tired of living in a swamp.
Not how it works, I don't think. There is no just going back. I'm sorry to say this, but to want that is understandable, but it's also childish. It is immature. You have an opportunity to show them that you can beat them, despite what they did to you. As do I.
He didn't do it to me. It was the Rossi Empire. We can go back. It will just be like it was. It was nice. It was better than this. Do you like stealing and living in a swamp and having to grovel for fucking wizards? And hang out with a bear?
Let me think about that for a moment. Do I like being cast out of my home, not able to see my wife? Do I like being magically deformed? Do I like all of those things? Are those things that I enjoy? Wow, what an interesting question that you have asked me. I'm going to really think on that one.
Well, then why aren't you
Of course
doing
I
anything
don't like
about it?
I am. I'm
You've
trying
just
to
given
teach
into
you.
it, and you want me to just accept what I am? Fuck that.
Look, trying to change back is like trying to undo what happened. You have to accept what happened. Then the change will come from within.
You'll see some tears form in his eyes, and he'll scream at you, I'll never accept what happened. This is a fuck situation. No one wanted this to happen. And I'm going back. And Father will welcome you with open arms. And if you don't want to see your wife, that's on you. But I know that there's someone back there for me.
I step forward and I say,
I'll step back.
I don't want you to go because I've already lost one son. I don't want to lose the closest thing that I have to another.
Well, then don't try to stop me, he'll say. And he'll kind of like turn off and walk away.
And I'll let him go.
Okay. Well, it's quite the day here back in the swamp. That's Serenity Tower. Maybe not quite living up to its name right now, but everyone will eventually come together for dinner. With some polite conversation. Leafy will run around in the yard. And as the evening draws to a close, Autumn lets out one more. It's been such a great time hosting you all. Now do come back soon after you leave tomorrow. And it's always nice to see friends.
Thanks for your hospitality, Autumn.
My pleasure.
Autumn's an elf? Half elf?
She's
Just a half elf, I think, yeah.
I think a half elf.
a half elf, is your impression. Right? Like, there's... How do I say this? Sometimes it's really easy to tell that someone's a half elf, right? If you got like facial hair, you're definitely a half elf. If you're trying to hide your elven ears, like you're probably a half elf. If you can kind of tell that they're there, but they make an effort to hide them. There is a little overlap between the most elfin-like female half elves and the most human-like female elves. where there like gets to be a little bit of a blur and you could assume it's one, but it's actually the other. Like there is a little gray zone in there. Your impression has been that she's been a half elf. In theory, she could be a full-blooded elf, but like that's not the vibe that she gives off. You can probably safely assume she's a half-elf from here on out, but if it were to turn out that she was a full-blooded elf, you wouldn't be like, oh my god, I would never see it coming. Like, it's in that realm of gray.
I will be quiet at dinner. Garp isn't going to talk too much. He's going to eat his food. Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah,
Renatus will offer people tea with the dinner that he has brewed. It is a very nice calming tea that is designed to settle the nerves before a great adventure.
Fantastic.
Autumn will politely decline. Other than that, all's good.
Cringe.
Yeah.
She's scared of getting poisoned. Beta.
Yeah.
All right. So, what's that? Just out of interest, what's the security situation like in Serenity Tower? Like, if we were to try and go up a level, what is physically stopping us? Is it just
Door.
fear? Just a door, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, no one's tried it to see if it's locked or not. She's a fucking wizard in the swamp.
It's gonna be wizard locked, isn't it?
It's probably wizard locked. It might
don't
be
know, though.
trapped. Like, you never really know.
It's not worth.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I think I enjoyed the last night at Serenity Tower. I feel like I'm actually getting on a little better with the party. I think Grau is actually the person that Arrakis has seemed to have the best relationship with, or at least he's not fallen out with Grau like he has the other two. But seems to have buried the hatchet with Garp and Renatus a little bit. And in the morning, I'm going to try and recruit the three of these to come with me on my adventure. But for now, I'll just enjoy the evening and the food and get a good night's sleep.
Yeah. Well, the night passes. You'll wake up in the morning. You're still in the swamp. It's as boggy as ever. There's food already laid out for you by the unseen servants before you wake up. It's gone cold by now, in fact. There's no sign of autumn to be found.
So, once everyone's down at the table, especially Renatus, I will say, Renatus, it's good that you're down here. I'd spoke to Garp and Grau yesterday about my plans, now that autumn's no further use for us. I think Garp's on board. He seemed to suggest that if he was coming along, you would as well, but maybe I should pitch you what I'm thinking about here.
Okay. It depends. What do you want to do, and where do you want to go?
Well,
And
at
why?
least for now, we've earned some gold, right? And as comfortable as this tower is,
I was
there's
gonna
some
sit down
nicer
with you
inns.
guys in gnome form.
Cool. And Grau, this does give you a chance to comment on this, but there's some nice inns along the road towards Veilbrook. I thought we might spend some of our gold and spend a few nights in a tavern, sleeping on a feather bed, maybe having some drinks, getting to know each other a little bit more, toasting the adventures gone before. But once that's out of the way, before I left my wizard school, I was studying the history of a mage that had lived in these parts some centuries ago by the name of Sigris. I believe his tower, or at least one of his towers, is in the marsh somewhere out here in the southern part near the town of Wick something, Wickish. But I don't know exactly where, and it's too dangerous to go searching. I was hoping that Autumn might have some books on the subject. Some local historians maybe have written about him. But if she's not willing to let me use her library, then we'll have to travel to Veilbrook. But
I'll consider what you say.
yeah, this tower, if we could find it, could have all manner of magic and wealth. Who knows? There could be a scroll of, polymorph in there, or powerful dispel magic scroll, or something similar that maybe could help with Garp's affliction.
The only thing that will help Garp's affliction is for him to give up his denial and to accept this is who he is now.
Perhaps that's good advice, but there are more than one solution to a problem.
Garp, when you
There is a right solution.
when you were transformed, was there things that happened to your mind as well? Is there things you don't remember? Is there things that seem to lie in the past but you can't quite explain? Did your mind change like mine?
Sorry, Grau. None of that happened to me. The only thing that changed was my physical body, and now I look like this.
Just like I can change my physical body, yes, I see.
And
I think whatever changed you, Grau, is something altogether more special and unique.
I agree.
Sounds like what happened to
And
Garp
from,
here is the workings of a disgruntled wizard.
Neil, can I... I'm assuming when I've talked to Autumn in the past about what happened to me, she seemed like she didn't really feel like this was just the work of some, like, wizard, right? This wasn't like your standard run-of-the-mill magic. She's never encountered something like this before, right? And she was...
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is well beyond mortal magic to imbue someone with druidic abilities.
Yes.
Do druids pray to the gods, or do they get their power from somewhere else?
They're technically clerics, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Their powers come through devotion to the goddess of nature, Nadinus.
That's right.
So I will say that to Grau. Like, Grau, how close are you to Nadinus?
I've heard people talk about Nadinus, and I speak to her in my own ways. I feel her, and it's like... It's not like a person you talk to, but it's like a river that you jump into and swim. Sometimes you dive deep and feel the water all around you. Sometimes you just dip your toes, but it's always around.
If Autumn thinks that the source of your change is not the work of a wizard, or not the work of mortals, and they are in short supply these days, but perhaps a cleric of Nadinus could give you answers.
Yes, I want to find more people like Forrest. I'm sure there's more people like that in my past. What do you think?
Most likely. I don't know. I mean, do you think you were a druid before you lost your memory? Or do you think that Forrest knew you when you were before the change?
I don't think anything was lost. I've always felt like things were gained. He's gonna stop
I don't
himself from elaborating his thoughts on this, but yeah.
I'd suggest that if we're going to find answers, then we'll likely find them in Veilbrook. It's where we're most likely to find a cleric. It's where we might find texts, perhaps talking of similar incidents in the past.
What about?
I don't know. I mean,
what about?
are you interested, Grau, in finding out the origins of your power?
I want to find the person who was a being, or whoever made me become this, because I... You see, when you're a bear, you don't think about what it's like to be a human. But now I know what it's like. When I was a bear, I couldn't imagine. Well, I think I don't like humans or the people that walk outside of the forest very much. But when I was a bear, I couldn't imagine what it was like to be human. Maybe there's something like that for humans. Maybe there's something even smarter, a being that doesn't want to kill each other all the time. Maybe whoever made me what I am now can do it to me again, so I can leave these feral humans behind like I left behind the forest.
I will say, what you just said sounds like elves. And that guy Forrest, he was at least a half elf, and he was talking about his homeland being the great forest that the elves are from. Maybe we should look for an elf. If it's an elfin cleric of Nadinus, all the better. But maybe your answer lies with them.
Did Grau automatically know Autumn's name? Neil?
I don't think so. I think he met her and became like acquainted with her, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Is there any known elf settlements near here, or have they been all but destroyed by the Empire?
The elven settlement is just north of the swamp, quite a ways. It's called Iliara Orin, means the ancient trees, and that was the area that was
That's what he's talking
by...
about. Yeah, that's what he's saying. But so is
yeah,
that,
but
there's
it's not
nowhere
just
else.
a village, right? It's like
No.
the elven ancient homeland. It's hundreds of square miles, I think.
Yeah.
So
there's no like enclaves of them that have survived, or that we know of at least.
if there are such enclaves, they are keeping it quiet.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
finding an elf for Grau to talk to would be like a task in of itself. And actually, our best lead on that is probably Forest.
Well. It looks like we've got a little direction. So this is theoretical elf that you're looking for. A little bit of help with Grau? Does it benefit anyone else in the party, finding this elf?
I mean, an elf that had lived in this area for a long time might know something about where this wizard was.
Which wizard is this?
Well, wizard. He's Neil. He's the famous wizard, Sigris Shadowhand.
Sigris Shadowhand.
From somewhere around 3 centuries past. My research tells me that he had a tower in the Devouring Marsh that he accessed through teleportation, but I know that there is at least one surface level entrance somewhere. And my knowledge for this was some notes in the cover of the spellbook that I took from Thalius. Seems he was doing similar research himself. And I think in my panic, I've just decided to come in this direction.
And you said it was near the Devouring Marsh?
Yeah, I'm thinking that it's in... You look at the Devouring Marsh, at the south of it, the southern left tip kind of opens up into like a lake.
Yeah.
Somewhere in that area.
Okay.
So my plan right now is to go to Valebrook, do research in the library, then cross that road across the plains to Wickish, and then from there start trying to explore the swamp.
And you said that he lived in this swamp how long ago?
300 years or thereabouts.
Okay. That was the last documented this person lived here.
Indeed, yes. Or at least that's what the notes are saying that this guy's Thalius has written.
Mm-hmm. And does it have any other, like, he was here for 500 years, or, he built a tower here? Or is it just like 300 years ago, Shadowhand lived near Wickish, the village of Wickish?
He was a shadow mage, so obviously he kind of kept himself to himself mostly, and so the details of his endeavors are few and far between. But it seems that, from time to time, he did kind of get involved with the local lord or involved in some bigger project that was happening. So his name comes up from here and there. And I think what Thalius has done is kind of piece together lots of references from different places.
Okay. Well, the party fed. Autumn not around to say goodbye. She said she wanted to talk to Grau about his experiences, but then she never showed up in the morning. Kind of just ghosted you on this thing.
Grau still really wants to talk to her about it.
Wait, well,
is she?
She's not here.
Yeah,
she's not here, and we're leaving.
Yeah, I mean, you could go claw at the door, or yell loudly up to one of those windows. You could try to get her attention.
I'm gonna try to find her and walk around in gnome form, yelling for her. Autumn, hello. We're gonna talk to me.
Ghosted.
Oh.
So sad.
Sorry, bud.
He's gonna draw his own conclusions out of this.
Yeah.
That's what happens when you ghost people, is that they
Growl.
get to make up any story about you that they want, and it becomes true.
Yep.
Grow, come on. Your friends are over here. Let's go. It's time.
So,
Hold on. I may have, in my old age, zoned out slightly, but I don't remember us actually like having a discussion and deciding a direction together.
well,
Like-
I agree, Renatus. Why don't we head to Keygate, get ourselves a tavern, sit around for a few days and talk it through? Because we're not welcome here.
I don't-
And we can't. I'd rather not sleep in the swamp.
I'm going wherever he
All right.
goes. I point at Arrakis. He's going to turn me back.
Give
Renatus,
you a
like,
smile, a kind smile.
he's not. You don't know if he can even turn you back. You need to accept what happened. You need to accept it.
I accept
Can't
what
live in
happened.
denial.
I
No, you
was
don't.
turned into a bullywug. But I'm going to overcome it. Renatus.
I think
I mean,
whatever. I
what
think
your
if we
father
can.
did.
I think if we can find who or what did things to me, they sound like turning you back would be easy for them.
Potentially.
Maybe.
Maybe the elves are the answer.
I think you're a cruel joke that the gods played on an animal.
Cruel. This is a blessing.
I think there's
Well,
more
cruel
to
for
it.
him.
I do agree, though, that we should
I
go find
also don't
somewhere
understand
warm
the
to
joke.
sleep, because maybe
Yeah.
then this wizard will stop complaining about needing to research a spell. Let's get going.
Good decision, Renatus. Let's one more trip through the swamp for old time's sake.
Hell yeah! I roll swamp survival. How do I do?
Well,
Alright.
how
Boom.
do you do?
Boom. 13. We're fucked.
Very bad.
Nice.
Very, very badly
Roll 3.
indeed. It's fine. We're gonna change our swamp music if we're actually gonna be walking through it.
We're swamping boys.
All right, back to Keygate, and then we're gonna head south. Now it's a 2-day journey ish out of the swamp, depending on how you pace yourself and how things go. And our swamp survival is not so fantastic. You know, one of the problems with the Devouring Marsh, and one of the reasons they call it Devouring, is because the land here is a little unstable. There are islands that you might get used to, that trees may even begin to grow upon, and then one day that island has sunk beneath the swamp, and a different land somewhere else has risen itself out. So the marsh is just an ever-changing mess. It's hard to... That's why there's not like a real road through it. There's like a trail, but the trail keeps having to adjust over time. And you've missed the telltale signs of passage changing. There's a section where like it's deep on this side, it's deep on this side, but if you thread this needle, like it doesn't get too deep and you can, save a couple of hours. But you haven't noticed the telltale signs of this region slipping. You haven't really noticed those like sulfuric gas bubbles popping up on the side. Maybe you're talking with Garp. Maybe you thought it was just like a bullywug underwater breathing or something. You are going to find yourself slipping momentarily beneath the surface of the swamp. Do you have a swimming proficiency, Renatus Fur?
I do not. I can tread water, though.
You can... Is that what it says?
We're
No.
tragic boys.
I slip. Do I get a chance to save myself with dex or something?
No, if you just actually... If you don't have a
You
swimming
just-
proficiency, you just die.
You just died, yeah.
You can just roll a new character now. It's just over.
Wait, what happened
Cool.
to him?
He walked into deep water and it's over.
Oh, I can save him.
Yeah.
It's fine. We're not... Just...
Bubbles start appearing above me as I exhale instinctively.
Yeah, I jump for him and I go and get him.
It's fine. Yeah, there's plenty of people swimming in the area, and you're just one step off into the deep end, and you submerge below. You get pulled back up.
It's the curse
Not
of
a
the
big
rogue.
deal.
Just faces death around every corner.
Watch your step, old man. Can't have you dying on me.
I don't float like I used to. I say, laughing and like wiping swamp muck off myself.
You need me to... I don't know. guide you. I can do that.
You can go where I can't. I remember the way through the swamp as I immediately move and slip back beneath the water, and you grab me again, I guess.
Don't give yourself a hard time, Renaissance. This place seems to shift and move over time.
Yeah. Either that or my memory isn't what it used to be, which
Well,
is
little
probably
column
true.
A, little column B.
Anyway, we'll have to find another way around. It'll cost us an hour.
Well, as long as we still make it there tonight. My whistle needs wetting. I'm incapable of making a character that doesn't love to drink, apparently. I don't know.
Keep your
You have a whistle? You can play music?
yeah.
It's a turn of phrase. Right, it means that I'm thirsty.
Oh.
Yes.
I thought it was a turn of phrase about mating.
Sometimes no, that's if you need
No.
your
Well, depending on the circumstances, I suppose. Would be.
Humans are the most confusing.
Our
I'm with
language
Grau.
is
Humans are
complex.
weird. I'm honestly I'm getting fed up with humans at this point. I'm with the bear.
Weird is relative. Talking bear.
I
That's
mean,
weird.
you're the only one I haven't
Human who
seen
likes
kill
to
anybody,
drink.
so...
Yeah, he's the weird one. You've not seen me kill anyone, Grau, to be fair.
Okay, yeah. Cool. Lots of people
Like, the
saying
only
you
one
killed
we've seen
someone,
kill
though.
people.
He's the reason we have to kill people. I say, pointing at him like in anger. Like this is the reason we had to kill people. It's his fault.
That's not fair. I did not ask you to do that.
I've only
You didn't
killed
do
one
that.
person.
Yes, and he's
Or
not
you.
even a human, so...
It's true.
Oh,
Don't blame it on the
yeah,
humans.
I only
Grau.
wander into your territory once and I get one salmon from you. That's okay, right? Just one salmon. Well, I promise I won't do it again. No, that's not how it works.
Just the one summon.
Okay? It's... I know how this
Grau,
works.
I'm not even human at this point, so anyone I kill, don't blame it on them.
You're the most human person I've met in all of this. I don't...
I'll nod and say he just needs to accept it.
You get to your little island that's along the the mouth section, that little crossing area, later than you would like. You can stop, and when you go to wring the water out of your clothes and
Oh, not this again.
make a little fire, you got a couple of leeches on you. Can I get everybody in the party to roll me a d4 -2 for the amount of leeching damage you would have taken over the course of the day? D4
Oh my god, we're
-2.
taking damage.
Yeah,
Oh,
the big leeches on you.
I gained HP.
Okay.
Yeah, you're fine, Garp. Renatus, for that plunge into the water, a big leech must have fallen down your shirt and you didn't even realize it. It, secretes this not antiseptic,
Numbing.
but like a numbing agent. Yeah. And later, when you're taking your clothes off to let them dry, there's like a big leech right over your chest.
Damn, I didn't feel a
Ruckus
thing.
and-
We need Grau?
Growl, give me a d4 -2 for how much damage you take from leeches.
He's got a protection from leeches, though, because of his thick.
Well,
There's a lot of
I'm in
trouble,
gnome
isn't
form
there?
right now.
Oh, true.
Yeah.
He's got a
Yeah,
majesty sword.
I'm taking full 2 damage.
All right, so the both of you are taking 2 damage from these nasty ass leeches that just suck onto you. But it's not that big of a deal. You can manage a leech.
That's maybe 30% of my health that just disappeared there.
Yeah. Thank God you have more than 2 HP. You could die in this swamp to leeches without even realizing it if you had low HP.
Damn. No wonder it's so dangerous to travel.
All right. Next day, on to Keygate, and our next encounter check is a fine encounter check. There's no problems. You make your way all the way to Keygate, and you got to stop and do the usual gremlin search, like
we
they
do.
do.
The gremlin search.
Yeah, and there, wouldn't you know it, there's a gremlin again. This one was in your bags, Arrakis, and you were positive, these are your wizard bags. You keep an eye on this stuff. And yeah, there were gremlins in the sky, yet they were around, but they didn't ever get close enough to the party. But somewhere, maybe at night, maybe when they were distracting you, maybe when you went to get a snack, a gremlin crawled into your bag, hid underneath all of your food, and just sort of blended into the background. But that guard will find it. What's his name?
So what happens?
Captain Deimos.
Does the gremlin just get grabbed and killed, or does it like run off?
He gets grabbed and just like flung back out. Just chucked him into the air.
They don't kill him.
And he's just, well, he flies away. Arrows get shot after him. Maybe they hit him. Maybe they don't. They're pretty cowardly creatures when confronted directly.
Did you say that
there seem to be no end of them.
They seem to blend into the background, do they?
Well, they're really good at hiding. So I'm not trying to say like they have a camouflage ability, but I'm saying that they're good.
I consider casting sleep on this one to study it, but I'm probably not in the best place to study things right now, so I leave it.
Yeah,
It's not the time for experimentation.
No.
That's
the
college.
party.
So I say to the god, by the gods, I can't believe that thing was in there. I thought I was being thorough with my checks. Good job that you do this check at the gates here. So thank you for that. My friends and I have had a tough journey through the swamps. Is there a nice inn that you could recommend, bearing in mind the unusual nature of my friends here?
It's been quite
He
the
looks at your
journey
unusual
indeed.
friends.
Oh, it has been
Motion to
from
the gnome.
from so far away. I'm Grau, by the way. Hello. And he was gonna
Hello.
take a bow.
Yes. Well, nice in present company. They might exclude one another. But I can get you a place down the road. There's an inn known as, what do we got? He'll give you the name of an inn.
Yeah.
I'll get it to you in a minute.
I say, if you're trouble, answer, and hand him a silver coin.
All right. He accepts your silver coin, thanks you for the tip, and you can move on into the inn. It's a nice, cozy place. It's on the lower class of things, but just low enough that people aren't going to look too close. Now, a bullywug coming into an inn, though, that's a bit of an odd one. But I think
My money's as good as theirs.
He's a civilized bullywug. He's not eating
He's
at
just
anyone.
half
He's
of
not leaping. He's fine. We're fine.
Mm-hmm.
It's fine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. It's fine. It's #fine.
Okay, so I would like to stay here for 3 days, or at least 2 days, long enough for me to learn my spell and for us to have a chat about next.
It's going to cost us some money. In that time, I would like to try to make some money in this town.
Nice.
You got your little ferret technique. Are you gonna go make some money in the streets?
Oh yeah, I'm performing. I'm doing ferret things. I'm looking for pickpocketing opportunities. Yeah.
Roll me a d20 for the best pickpocketing opportunity that comes your way.
All right. Now,
What's
so
your luck?
wait, party agrees that we're here for 3 days?
Yeah, why are we getting into trouble again?
He's
What
not
do you
getting
mean?
into trouble.
I'm not getting in trouble. I'm making us money, okay? Listen,
He's making us money.
traveling isn't
Okay.
free, okay?
Yeah.
It's got to come from somewhere.
Go for it.
17,
Pretty
okay?
good.
There you go.
A noble,
okay.
unguarded. Okay? We find him.
You know what?
Is it that
It's
girl
that
again?
same noble brat from
No
last time.
way.
I'm gonna get
Yeah.
this
That same
fucking
girl.
necklace, dude. I do the whole act again. All right, ferrets going around my arm to arm. I'm putting it on kids, and I'm slowly working my way over. She's seen it before, but I change it up. Now I'm like putting my arm in the air, and the ferret's like swirling up around my arm, and then swirling back down to my leg. I kick my leg, the ferret jumps into the air. I catch him with the other leg. I catch her, Abigail, the ferret. She's a beautiful girl, and I slowly make my way over to the girl, and I toss the ferret to her. And the ferret, what happens? What does she do?
She reaches out with both hands and grabs the ferret in the air and squeezes it to her chest and squeezes it back and forth and goes, "Oh my God, Wubby, I love you so much, Wubby. Oh, Wubby."
The ferret bites her.
Oh no.
Are we certain that the ferret would bite her?
Roll to hit.
Not hard. It would just be like, let go of me. It doesn't like being
Yeah,
huggled.
well, go ahead and give me like a d20 plus 4. All you
Absolutely.
need is a 10 or higher.
Ah,
Oh my god.
You know, The ferret goes to bite her, but like when a cat goes to bite you or something, you notice it at the last minute, and you manage to pull away and avoid the bite. And she holds the ferret at arm's length and goes, "Wubby, you're not supposed to bite." And then she, with both
I
hands,
walk forward and I'm like, "That's my ferret," and I
tosses the ferret
grab
to the
her
ground.
wrist. I gotta be quick here. If I see this happening,
Yes.
if she's squeezing,
Hit her
I get
ass.
time to react.
Yeah, she did pause for
Get
a
that
moment.
shit.
You reach out your hand.
This is
roll
a
me
child.
D10 to see if you can catch it before she drops it.
In the
Opposed
time.
to
Are you
her
pickpocketing as
D10.
well when you're doing this?
Oh, you got to roll lower than a 9.
I'm
you
fast.
do it.
Okay, he did.
Last
You rolled an 8.
moment, the hands are coming down to throw the ferret to the ground, and you catch them mid stride.
I say, "That's my property."
Unhand me,
And
you
That's
brute.
when you see
I peel her hands
the
off.
bodyguard standing behind her, and his hand goes from like that sexy wrist resting on the hilt to like the hand on the hilt.
Nice.
And the blade, like, slowly, like, with eye contact, like, I see what you're doing, and you're about to get in so much trouble as, like, the blade slowly begins to slide from the scabbard.
I look him in the eyes steelily as I peel the child's hands off my ferret.
Take her shit too.
The sword comes all the way out of the sheath, and the guard says in a low voice, "Unhand the child, you cur."
I want a chance to take the ferret before I unhand her. I take
Yes.
the ferret, and then
Yes,
I unhand her.
not a problem. The girl immediately turns to the guard and says, "Sigmund, did you see what he did to me? That mean man! Did you see what he did to me, Sigmund? I demand you take his
pickpocket her.
hands."
Right now, I try to stick to
While
necklace.
everyone's staring.
Absolutely no.
To be fair, the guard would be looking at her probably.
I mean, they're both within line of sight. Maybe the eyes are down, maybe the eyes are up, but like, this is
I'm
the
wrestling.
man.
I'm wrestling with her
grasps
hands.
The child.
I'm wrestling with her hands.
Yeah.
Does she have any rings on?
Oh, you didn't let them go? I thought you just like got the ferret and released.
Well, as he's
If
getting
you're
the
maintaining
ferret,
your grip, we need to roll initiative.
Oh no! Like as I was getting the ferret, as I was making her let go of the ferret, so the ferret ran up my arm. I want an
Could've grabbed
opportunity. I could have grabbed a ring.
Not getting in trouble, guys. I'm just
Go ahead.
As he's grabbing the
give
ferret,
me a
travel isn't
pickpockets
free,
check.
guys. I'm just
Listen,
doing
guys.
It's fine.
I have a-
pickpocketing.
Listen, my pickpocket skill is absolutely unbelievable. Okay,
it's
I got a 75% chance of success. It's easy. Boom! I failed.
84 is a failure. Now, pickpockets, great skill. Failing doesn't mean that someone sees you. But, someone can also see you if you succeed. The chance of someone noticing that you're picking pockets is
Okay, but
related
that's-
to their level.
That's normal for like picking pockets on someone on the street. This is him fighting for his ferret back,
Yes.
and he like kind of tries to grab the ring. There is no way that is the same thing as you just picking someone's pockets. And
No.
No, I think you're absolutely right because eyes are specifically on him. He's being specifically looked at while he's doing the attempt. He's not
Correct,
just
he's
someone in
grabbing
the
his-
crowd.
If the bodyguard
Correct,
is
he's
standing
grabbing his fucking
behind,
ferret.
if the bodyguard is standing behind this girl, he's holding this ferret to her chest, and she has just brought it up and starts swinging it down, and I grab it as it's down there. There's no way the bodyguard sees this.
no way.
Well, you don't
Sorry.
like the hands are he towers over the girl, the hands are out, you grab the hand, you lift, you get your ferret back, and then you try to like slip off the rings as you let go of her hand. The bodyguard normally has a 3% chance per level to detect you.
Roll it.
Oh
Roll it.
no, it's not rolled. It's this chance right here. So if you roll a 99, 98, 99, or 100% on your D100, and they're a first level person, they'll notice. And so the bodyguard level will tell us whether or not.
There's no way this
You
is a level
are-
5 bodyguard. For a child, no way.
Wait, I
It
don't
would
think
have
that's
to be-
true. That it can't be true, Neil. Because then if you pickpockets really well, no one will ever notice. Shouldn't it be done afterwards?
No. So
People can still notice even
a good
if you
pickpocket.
even if you pass the check. So you could steal successfully but still be noticed.
I guess.
Yes.
Yeah.
It
Yes.
specifically says that, I believe, in the rules.
Yes. It gives an example right here.
This guard has to be level
our-
6.
Well, he's not. He is, I believe, a 5th level guard. He is the child's bodyguard. But
He's looking, isn't he? He's looking.
I feel like giving him an increased chance
No.
because like this was right. He was
brazen.
drawing his sword because you were grabbing a child that he's protecting and guarding.
But
So
there's
I
no way
think-
he thinks that he's
Yeah.
pickpocketing there. It would be mad.
And also the fact that there's like a big motion as I'm just taking the child's hands off. There's no way, especially if the child
There's
was
no
mid
way.
like slamming the ferret to the ground, and I'm like and I grab.
There's no way.
There's no
or
way.
like
way.
it's unlikely, but the dice have spoken because you rolled very poorly.
I'm
On
sorry.
You're
Are you
sure the
house
dice spoke
ruling?
and you're giving him an advantage.
Are you house
I'm
ruling?
giving him a gentle advantage because it's an attempt that's in direct line of sight, as we discussed.
Then I want
before
a
getting
gentle
to this point.
advantage for the ferret being there, wiggling and doing things,
Exactly.
distracting people. All right. So
Wait.
ipso facto, my
Is that-
advantage outranks your advantage.
Neil.
So we're good.
Here's the compromise, right? Make the guard roll a perception check. If he passes his perception check, then he would have got a big enough bonus to notice.
No.
If he fails his perception check.
Why? That seems like an unnecessary amount of
Because
dice
it's the
rolling.
idea
He
why-
picked pockets in plain sight.
No, he failed
the-
his
the
check,
idea-
and we
the
move on.
idea is
It's
that-
life. It's good. We're fine. He failed his check, and we move on.
He failed his check. There is things going on with the ferret. He didn't run up to the girl to like massage her hands. It's not weird. He wants his ferret back. This all makes sense. There's no reason he should get an
I want
advantage.
to pickpocket
Bodyguard
Neil's.
who is watching the girl and is there to protect her
He failed
from
his check.
would be. He did.
He
First
failed
off,
his
you
check.
failed your check, sir.
He failed
You
his
failed your
check,
check
too.
so badly that he notices that something sly
No,
happened. But he also sees
absolutely not.
you didn't get any rings. You failed to pickpocket, to like slide the ring off her finger, but he can see that the
Yeah,
ring
no harm
slid a
done.
little bit and then got caught against the knuckle.
Just get
And he's
caught.
already
Just
got
let
his-
yourself get caught. There's no harm done, right?
No.
He's got his sword out.
You can talk your way
maybe
out of
He's
this.
already said,
No, no.
unhand the girl, cur.
Listen,
There's no
Renatus,
way he
traveling
knows I
is
was
expensive.
pickpocketing.
We're just doing a little
yeah, I agree.
pickpocketing. It's
There is
fine.
no way he knows he was.
There's no way he
pickpocketing.
knows I was pickpocketing. But
Why not?
He
Guys.
might.
You failed miserably.
What
And
do
it's
you
in
mean?
plain sight of him.
I
Let's
failed
stop.
by 9. Okay, on a 75%.
Miserably.
All right,
No,
listen,
he
guys,
failed miserably because he didn't hit his number. He's only level 5. He didn't pass. He failed.
We
I
gotta
was
take
giving him
the
a bonus.
we
I'm
gotta
giving him
take
instead of 3% per level, it's 4% per level. Means he passes.
Oh, where is this 4%? You know what?
Right here. Look, I can declassify. I can change the rules with my mind.
I was gonna say
I need
Neil's
not-
the DM. We can't make your case and then I guess like with no point getting. into,
I
like,
just
super
I don't
arguments
accept it.
and all
I
that.
feel like it feels arbitrary.
You feel like it's unfair.
It feels arbitrary.
I feel like it's dumb.
Feels arbitrary.
It feels arbitrary.
So there should not be bonuses or penalties for the subjective nature of events.
I think in this event there's a lot going on. And
I think
it's not as
bonuses
simple
should be
as he was
declared before the
pulling
dice are rolled.
The ring off. Agreed.
But that only works if if nobody rolls dice until everything's declared.
Well, like okay, I feel like you should. What I mean is, my expectation is because I remember last time I rolled actually very similarly, didn't I? I rolled like a 76. So,
something like that. Yeah.
and I think I had a good idea that there's a very small chance that I would be noticed. And now you're changing that, which would have changed my decision. So I think what I would
If you would
accept
have
is
said it was like more often than not, you'd be noticed here, or a way higher
Yeah,
chance.
but he
because
doesn't
it's
know the
in
level of the
front.
guard.
exactly.
Sure, but he doesn't need to know the level of the guard. Neil should have said like, "Oh, you would. He has a higher chance of
Neil
noticing because
did
you're
warn
watching."
I
me
don't
that I
remember
was doing it in front of a bunch of people, but I made the case that like her arms were moving, and I'll just go for it.
Yeah, but I think pickpockets is normally the sort of thing that is done surreptitiously. Like you walk past someone, you're trying to remain unseen. They're not like in the middle of a conversation / drawing a weapon on you because you're touching the person they're supposed to be guarding. I think it's pretty fair that if someone is meant to guard this child and they see you in contact with that child, that you have a higher than average amount of their attention. Right?
That's fair, but
That's
does
fair.
he know that he's pickpocketing the child?
I think it's pretty
seems
clear that I'm
wild
going
to
to.
me.
4 would be indicator. The pickpocket roll is what should determine that.
The fail should be that he didn't get it, I don't know if that
Correct.
should determine if he is pickpocketing. Like,
Well,
when the guard looks at
that's the
him and he
rules.
doesn't get the ring.
But that's the rules. That's the
Okay,
literally
but by
the
the
second
but by
edition
the
Raw.
rules, he doesn't fail here because the guard's level 5, right? So let's stop talking about the rules. Let's talk about what it actually
Scenario.
means.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. True.
Thank you. Okay, so
You can't just ignore the rules and then refer back
Yeah.
to them, right? You're so
That's
far
stupid.
away
Right,
from the
but you
rules.
can't say we need to follow the rules and then decide that they don't matter and ignore them when we're all doing the same thing here.
Okay,
we're all
this
saying,
is,
not.
wait. Let me just
Rules
let
are
me let me speak a little piece. This is why I'm suggesting the perception check because it's giving ground to both of you, right? Like I'm saying that if he passes the perception check, then he's not just concerned about the girl. He also is aware that maybe this guy's trying to steal or he's up to no good, and therefore gets a bonus on his pickpocket check because he's aware that he might be a pickpocket. And it's a little way to.
Why
make
would
you
he?
guys
It's so
come to
obvious that I'm
terms.
going to get my ferret that this child was about to kill. This guy knows this child. He knows she's a vindictive cunt. So that's why I went over there to save my fucking ferret. He knows. He's probably sick of this child and is only thinking of protecting her because it's his paycheck, right? He hates this child. 100%. He doesn't give a fuck what anyone does to her.
Right.
But he has to protect her.
He's got to
my
protect
piece.
her. Yeah, he's got to protect her. And he's got his sword, right? He's drawing the sword as you're pulling the things and you're pulling the attempted pickpocket, which doesn't go well. And he's got his sword out and he calls you a cur. And he says, unhand the child. And
Just fucking run, dude.
I assume you're letting go of the child.
Yeah, once I have my ferret, I let go.
He'll take the one hand that's not on the sword and get the child by the head and pull her behind him a little bit. And he says, he makes a charisma check to see if he remembers you from before. Ah, yes, of course he does. The man with the ferret that was here last month pulling this stuff.
I'm so memorable.
And you are memorable. And he'll lower his voice from silent to non-silent and say to you, this is the last time you touch
Child.
the Brick. This is the last time you touch Brick. Lady Brick.
I'll respond even on a similar level. And I'll say, if she had hurt my ferret, it would have been the last time you'd see her. And then I'll leave.
you're fucked.
It's a simple little money making. Just a little in and out. Just walk right back into the tavern after. It's fine. It's
Yeah,
fine.
just come back into the tavern. All will be fine.
Oh, right.
I'm sure.
Hey
it'll be my
Renatus, how'd
fault.
it go?
It went great. I made some coppers. How many coppers did I make from the poor children?
I think your copper gathering ended up running short, and so you only managed to pull out 10.
Based.
Good.
Pays for the
That's
beers
also
for the
like-
night.
$10.
I don't know if it does actually. But
These are pricey beers, actually.
yeah.
I gotta get rid of the pens that are bad instead of leaving them on my desk for
Ugh.
me to pick up
Tell me
in
about
a
it.
few moments. Right? Like, why do we do this to
The thing
ourselves?
is with ballpoint pens though, like sometimes they just decide to start working again, don't they? For a little while.
Right?
So you got to keep them
Right.
around just in case they're having a good day one day.
Alrighty. So it's a short night, stealing session out in the woods and wilds. You
Guy-
come back to the inn.
The guy just lets him go. Oh,
Well, he turned around and walked away, right?
Yeah.
And I imagine he's doing the cool guy. I'm walking away,
Yeah, I'm
without
leaving.
looking back over his shoulder, right?
yeah, yeah.
Well, also the heat got really
Yeah.
high in the cover in the. He pulled a sword on me,
Conversation.
and I don't want to. We agreed, don't start any trouble. So I'm getting out of there.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't start any trouble, guys. I promise.
No, you didn't. You're good.
You're good.
All right.
So
The
I'm gonna
day begins.
yeah.
Go ahead.
I'm
Go
gonna
ahead.
I'm gonna start learning my spell tomorrow then. We've got 3 nights here, so I'm gonna take this night off, and then tomorrow I'm gonna do spell learning all day, and the day after I'm gonna do spell learning all day.
And what are you doing with your time off?
I mean, I think we just spend some time in the inn, spend some gold, get some drinks, get some food, just have a nice time. I mean, we've literally been trekking through a swamp for the last 4 days, essentially.
Yeah. Totally. Can everybody in the tavern, party members only, make me a quick charisma check?
Nice.
Boom,
So,
26.
Quick charisma check.
Everyone remembers me.
Boom,
Really good at 14.
15.
Nice little 9.
Very nice. Very nice. Renatus, you had a struggled, an unfortunate encounter with that same fucking noble girl, right? Twice coming through this town, twice running into her. And maybe it's that interaction that's left you a little bit frustrated, a little bit like, this is bullshit.
True.
Stupid kid, right?
Should have killed my
You're
ferret.
maybe not following the attention. She did try to throw your ferret to the ground. And you're maybe not paying attention to the table very much. But you notice someone like coming into the tavern and someone who was just like standing near the door, having a drink. This person kind of comes in and they like make eye contact, and then the person having the drink kind of like nods just in the, over there somewhere. And you can see the new person who walked in like pointing a finger at your table pretty specifically. And the guy with the drink by the door like gives him a quick elbow, and does like a one of these head rolling motions and kind of vaguely gestures in this direction. So you're getting this feeling that this guy that came into the door, he's looking for something at this table, and the guy who was already in the tavern has been maybe here watching this table and giving this guy directions now that he's here. And you can feel trouble brewing on the horizon.
I say the only thing that I think will get the party to respond appropriately to this, and I will say bounty hunters.
Again?
And we'll see you on the other side of our break. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Save or Die Outcasts. You're in the tavern. It's a lower class place. That means there's some music. That means there's people having a good time. It's kind of crowded. You see this guy across the bar. He looks like he's getting a signal from the doorman. He comes your way. You interrupt the party's conversation with bounty hunters, right?
Yes, it is the worst possible case scenario, and we should be prepared for it.
Yeah,
Because
I
if we're not-
immediately snap to attention, look in the direction, the person walking over.
Their eyes are pretty fixed on the table. It's pretty clear that they're coming here for you.
I have an attack
Or at
ready.
least, someone here. But it's a crowded room, so they've got to, make their way past people who aren't paying attention and pry their way past tables, without making a scene, without, throwing people everywhere. So you've got, 30 seconds before they arrive.
I would like
Party.
to ready an attack.
Whoa, I don't know about that. I think
You,
we should...
grab your weapon from under the table?
Use
Well,
a
I did
dagger.
dagger.
You can do that.
Yeah,
Right?
okay, I think that's fine, yeah.
Yep.
I got nothing.
I ready my unproficient bard dagger from under the table as well.
Arrakis?
Can't ready a spell, so I do nothing.
Okay.
Is there a way... I have a staff, right? Is there a way I can ready, a block action with it?
Yep.
Yeah, I want to do that.
And he notices the
The-
demeanor of our table change, I imagine.
Yeah, I
Yes.
think, hands just casually slip under the table. Maybe a hand goes for a staff, but everyone also looks up and is looking in the direction of the oncoming person when you say bounty hunter.
Yeah.
And they get to the table. And they stand over it quietly for a moment, and just as they're about to speak, their eyes fall on Garp.
Oh.
And the eye twitches for a moment. And then they look at Renatus.
Looking at someone?
His eyes twitches for a moment. Looks back at Garp. He looks back to Renatus. Says, now this is awkward.
Spit it out.
Do I know him?
He pokes a finger in Renatus' direction. You, sir, are wanted by Lady Brick for questioning over the touching of her daughter. And you, sir, he points to Garp, are wanted by the town guard of Swampside for various crimes. And then he points a finger back at Renatus. And you, sir, are wanted by Magistrate Zera in Veilbrook. And that's 3 crimes and 2 people, and I'm not. Magistrate Zara outranks the rest of them, so you're wanted by Magistrate Zara for questioning.
I mean, me and her,
Says Tarantus again.
we're pretty good friends. I mean, I'm not going to answer any questions about such a good child. I think it's pretty simple. She tried to kill my ferret, and I grabbed her hands and took my ferret back. Case closed. I will not be taking questions from
I
this
ain't
lady.
judge, jury, nor executioner.
Grau has his face in his fucking hands because he can't believe that this is happening again.
Now,
What
look,
am I wanted
but-
for?
But I think
who do you work for? I say to him. I'm still clutching my dagger, by the way, under the table. And if he makes any aggressive action, I will leap at him, dagger in hand.
I work for the city of Keygate.
If they wanted
we
us, why
work
didn't they get us
for-
at the front when we came in?
The city works for the kingdom. He's like still processing aloud. And the
I say-
kingdom works for the empire.
I ask him, how much do you get paid?
I make 5 silver a day, sir.
Would you die for 5 silver a day?
There's no need for the threats, Renatus. Good friend, we are actually
I
heading
won't
to.
die.
We're actually
say-
heading to Veilbrook ourselves anyway, so I'm not a man looking to get in trouble with the law. My friend Renatus here, no doubt, has been up to some foul play. I'll be sure to make sure that he goes to
Who are
speak to
you?
Magistrate Zara himself. That's none of your
Who
business.
are you?
That's none of your business. I'm someone
You're
escorting
with...
Renatus here to Magistrate Zara.
He looks at your red robes. He nods. Okay. And he looks down at Grau. And you.
Hello, I'm Grau.
Okay. Well, you're all traveling together, it seems. So you need to report to
I'm-
Magistrate Zara immediately. And then he points at Garp. Then you have to go turn yourself into Swampside, because I won't be there to take you in. So once you get to Veilbrook and your Magistrate Zara business is done, you have to turn yourself in. And he points to not Malachi, Arrakis. You take responsibility for the frog and make sure he gets to the town guard in Veilbrook.
Absolutely. Well, I don't know what your bureaucracy is like, my friend, but the town of Swampside is under the jurisdiction of Magistrate Zara as the Lord of Veilbrook. So I believe that Garp here can answer for his crimes in Veilbrook just as easily as he can in Swampside.
The man's head is throbbing. That vein on the side of his head like keeps going. His huge bulking muscles are like flexing with every ounce of brain power to manage this complicated situation where 3 different people all want some, and it's just okay.
Thank you. I say you look like you could relax. Get yourself a drink. I hand him 2 silver.
We'll turn ourselves in, but
I'll hand him.
it might take us a couple days.
Let's not bribe the man.
Well, no, I'm not bribing.
I'm buying him a drink. Buying him a drink.
He'll take the silver and
I hold him out a
pocket
little.
it.
I hold him out a little pouch, and I say, "Thank you for talking to us, and not just immediately getting mad and trying to kill me. I think that should be rewarded. This isn't a bribe." And I'll yell at everyone, "This is not a bribe. I just want to reward this man." And I will hand you over a 15 silver bag.
he hesitates on, like, when it was just 2 silvers for drinks, it's
Yeah.
fine, but then you make this big scene and you're handing him a bag
Ex-
and it's a his brain is only like this big, okay?
Yeah.
And he's like,
Having problems. Okay. All right, I'll take the bag back and
Yeah.
You are technically under arrest, but it is suspended until such time.
Okay. All right.
Yes,
I get
we
it.
understand. Don't worry.
Good.
What is your name, Sarah? I'll make sure to report back to you once.
Yeah, what is your name?
The frog has answered for his crimes.
My name is Pod.
Okay, Pod.
I laugh.
I take out my spellbook and a quill and pretend to write that down.
Not the ink doesn't come out. It's just the spell book and the dry quill, and you like scratch, scratch, scratch.
Yeah,
and it
yeah.
just goes right over his head.
But I mumble some magic words before I do the scratching to make it seem like it's a magic quill, you know. Yeah.
Nice. Okay, Pod stands back, surveys the room. People are definitely looking at him, nods in satisfaction, and heads back for the door. And you can see the guy who like had nudged him in your direction. He's much smaller, thinner, smaller guy like does a one hand on the face, puts an arm around Pod, and the two of them walk out of the tavern.
Renitus, I didn't know you're out here touching children. That's probably one to avoid.
How do you suggest I try to steal things from people without touching them? Okay, listen. It was the old, ferret razzle dazzle.
Why is it that every time you try to steal from someone, we get into trouble? It's unbelievable with you guys that every time we go into a city, some fucking human comes up to us like, oh, you did this wrong and you did this, you fucking killed someone. Can we just one time get some meat pies and just go where we want to go? It's...
Wow. I am a
The name
thief
has a point.
by nature.
I am the
have
only
to make
animal
money
in
for
this
the
group,
party.
and somehow I'm the only one who hasn't been arrested yet.
I've never
just
been
love
arrested.
I can't do this with you guys anymore.
I've never been arrested. I have been accused of crimes, but I've never been arrested.
I just
Somehow
love
I've
thinking
made it
about.
through here without being accused of touching a child or killing someone or actually killing someone. He's making a real big scene right now, by the way. Like, everyone can hear him.
Luckily, he's only got a little gnome voice.
Yeah.
Don't worry, Grau. I feel your concerns, and I too would like our compatriots here to be a little bit more reserved in their actions. Can we not just enjoy a few days some relaxation before we're back out on the road?
I would like to try to pickpocket someone in the bar.
Oh my fucking god.
Renitus, I will pay you not to pickpocket anyone. 2 days.
I have to.
What is your usual daily income?
I go.
with this
I
endeavor?
get bored. I get bored of the party talking.
Potato, you're spiraling right now. You gotta chill.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah, the right
I went
from the
too far. I went too
trenches.
far. I'm sorry.
Okay, we enjoy a nice, pleasant evening, having got around what could have been a sticky situation with words successfully.
Yes.
Luckily, that guard was thick.
Not like your mom.
Ooh yeah.
Ooh,
Wow.
yeah.
The rest of the night passes without too much problem. Will everyone chill out?
Wait, hang on,
7
Jamie.
silver.
You
for
sure
the night
Renitus
and-
doesn't want to sneak down in the middle of the night and try and rob the inn's lockbox? Maybe use your ferret to distract the innkeeper?
Every time I go for a drink, I try to steal 1 coin from someone nearby,
Smart.
and I try to
Give me
shortchange.
a-
I try to shortchange the barman without noticing too. It's in my nature.
I'm an
No, I'm just
expert
kidding.
thief. I just...
Give me a pickpocket check and don't roll super high.
Having learnt my
Just can't help
lesson,
myself.
having learnt my lesson, I will not pickpocket for the duration of the next day or two.
Wow. Okay.
Oh. Character development.
Player development.
Player development.
God damn it.
All right. The day passes. The party proceeds to head to. You're actually going to Valebrook. That wasn't a
Yeah.
lie.
Yeah, no,
We're
that's
really
true.
headed in
Yeah,
that
we were going
direction.
there, yeah.
We're really
All right.
going
Well, you
there.
got a few days on the road.
No,
It's gonna
no.
cost some
No, 'cause we
money.
need to stay for a couple of days so I can
Oh,
learn
right,
my
I'm staying
spell.
here for 3 days.
Yes.
All right, cool. So we're just gonna pay up front because you say you need the room for 3 nights, and they're gonna hold it for you instead of kicking you out and then bringing you back in. So 5 silver a night, and then you'll need the little extra food and drink on the side. So let's say 7 silver a person a day, 3 days. Everyone pay out 21 silver or 2 gold, 1 silver for your 3 days here in town.
Yes, sir.
Is there there's meat pies here, huh?
How much?
Yeah.
How much gold
I
is
will
that?
be taking you to get meat pies, and I will handle your money.
Okay.
And I will get you an equal amount of meat pies.
Did
I
you
Is
say
feel
that
like-
okay with you?
is it
You
21
I'll
know,
silver?
explain
teach
to
it, teach Amanda fish and everything, just
Yeah.
for the future of this party. Like, Grau's not mentally challenged. You could probably teach him to handle this
teach him.
gold. He just doesn't know better.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Mhm.
I will spend a whole day here teaching you what money is.
Yeah.
And when you ask someone, like, how many meat pies can I have with all this money, they're going to shortchange you. So if you want
Yeah.
the most maximum amount of meat pies, what you're going to need to do is you're going to say, how much is 1 meat pie?
Yeah.
Or how much can one gold get me in meat pies?
And one of the
And then-
things that Grau is learning here over these last few days is that humans are fucking evil and want to fuck him over at
Right.
every point. So he's actually starting to learn this like healthy distrust. So he's gonna learn how to spend this money.
Dirty humans.
Nice.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll help you with that.
Was it
The
21 silver we
developments.
spent? Sorry.
21 silver. Yes.
Okay,
Please,
so
everyone,
that's 2
subtract it from your
gold.
character sheets.
And 1.
1 silver, 2 gold.
I already did
Yes.
it,
Thank you,
I
Nicholas.
already did it, Neil.
Shut
Oh
up,
my
Wood. Stop
God.
sucking up.
Look at my favorite players subtracting
pet.
gold from their character
Yeah.
sheets.
The favorite players. Let's go.
That's all of you. You're all doing it. I trust, right? I'm pretty sure Grau
I know you-
subtracted
I know you've
2
got a-
silver.
I know you've got
Two
to say
gold, one
that,
silver.
Neil.
Yeah,
I know
I
what you
did.
really mean.
I know what you mean.
Yeah.
I know what you mean.
Yeah.
I know what you mean.
Right.
We know.
Good. Everyone's working out.
Oh, thanks. Noticing. Just joking.
So party. Sounds like the next few days are going to be pretty chill. Everyone's just keeping a real low profile. Nick, we're going
Yes.
to roll your spells at the end
Oh, really?
because you never know when it's going to get interrupted by.
It could be done after the first
something.
day.
That's
Could be.
true.
Roll
He
me,
should
roll me
it
a,
now.
a D2.
I think deep down, Neil, we all know that I'm going to fail to learn this spell.
That's not true, man. Don't.
No, you
don't
got it
give
this
in.
time.
It's one day.
Okay, one day.
One day, all right, maybe the party can go one day in town without any chaos.
Yeah, I teach him how to use money.
I would like to spend the day skulking for opportunities.
Two
I'm like
minutes.
listening into conversations. I'm detecting noise. I'm like looking for opportunities because I'm mad that I failed to get that pickpocket.
Well, if you set something up with intelligence gathering ahead of time, then masticate on it and come back, you can, usually succeed better the second time.
It's true. Well, I just
For all of you Googling masticate, it means to chew.
so I masticate the streets of this town. I walk around. I'm listening out for rumors. All right.
Yeah. Give me your greatest charisma check.
All right. I'm gathering intel. Boom. 25.
Oh, it's so good. Yeah, there's some stuff going on in this town. Sure, the Empire's here, the Kingdom's here, there's a couple layers of bureaucracy, there's a little bit of friction going between them, and the people at the temple is like an entirely different sort of hierarchy, and there's a little friction there. There's a couple of things that are coming up. You can see where money is having to flow between these 3 different groups in different ways, and at some point in time, someone is actually having to make like an actual deposit of cash out of the temple and into the Empire's outpost in Keygate. And someone's got to do the same thing from the city, but from the city it's always under lock and key, or like there's guards taking it. But with the piece of information that you've gleaned here is that it's just a regular priest who takes the fraction of the temple money and brings it to the Verossi outpost. And you don't know when.
Oh yeah, a regular
It's probably
priest
like
would
on a-
hold person. Like I'm gonna buy this, okay?
Well, there's a difference between a
No, the
priest
cleric
and a
and a
cleric.
priest.
Oh, okay.
A cleric is a spellcaster. A priest is just a holy man with no worldly powers.
When is the next cash shipment moving?
Well, that's the thing, is you don't know. Based on your one day of scouting and kind of hearing sorts of information, you hear this, and then you follow up on a couple things, and by the end of the day, you've like got this vibe that there's this transaction that happens, but you don't know when. And if you ask too directly, like, hey, when do the priests go pay the government? Like, that's a red flag. Like anyone's gonna throw up a flag at that comment.
It's weird.
What if it was what if I found local thieves to talk to? There's got like every village has got an under.
Yeah, well, maybe.
Would they really want to
maybe.
share their score with you?
Are they gonna? Are
thing.
they going for it?
How would you know? But if you're like, hey, here's like, when does this thing happen? You're going to be like triggering competition, right? These aren't the den of thieves. They're not all we're working together to screw over the man. It's we're all out for ourselves and we'll screw over anyone, including each other and our moms, for a little bit of coin.
Ooh,
So
yeah.
unless you're real good friends with them, you can't trust them.
Fair.
And outsiders just popping in. This is maybe the next time you come back, you can pick up some more information, or maybe
I filed
you
this
can-
under. I filed this under to be observed and learned about.
Mm-hmm.
I pay. I give a beggar, like a couple silver, and I say to him, "Hey, I'm friends with the priest guy. Let me know when he comes out." And I explain the situation. He's blah blah blah. I want to know his movements next time I see you.
It's not that simple. Because there's a lot of priests, and you don't know which priest it is that does the actual payments and shipments, right? We're talking about like a complex heist with lots of, maybe it might not be that complex of a heist, but we're talking about a complex logistical situation, and you are just at the tip of the iceberg you can't jump to the heart of the matter.
All right, fair. I thought I could maybe get someone to watch. Okay, yeah, I'll file it
Maybe.
away as something
If you
to tackle.
can watch all the priests for a month, then you could do it. But that's a lot of homeless people to employ, and then all of a sudden they're walking around following priests everywhere. You're gonna need. Why don't we're gonna do the others. We're gonna come back to you and see what other how else you might be able to tease information out of this nest. You know, what would be the next step?
I'll think about it.
Now, Grau and Garp, my two Gs.
Your top G's.
Up,
My
jeez.
top Gs. The both of you, this is one socially awkward person trying to teach another socially awkward person the meaning and value of money and its use. And Garp, you got a bit of an edge to you, right? You got a little bit of a slicey side to you, especially when people disrespect you or try to cheat you, right?
Don't like to be cheated.
But you're trying to teach the bear how to use money without getting cheated, which might involve the bear getting cheated. So, what I need from you is I'm going to need a willpower check to see if you can, let some unfortunate things happen without
Teach it.
reacting as, a learning experience for the
I
bear.
rolled a 11 plus. My willpower was 8. Hit a 19, which is not good enough.
First time you try and teach the bear how to buy meat pies, you give him the lesson. Here's the money. He goes up to the counter. He pulls out a coin. He goes to do it, and then something happens. They bring out a fresh meat pie. You can overhear the talking about it's made out of something, and you can just see the bear begin to shake, and you're a little worried he's gonna burst into full bear form, and growl. How does this encounter go wrong? How is it that you get swindled is the wrong word, but overcharged?
You're muted.
You're muted.
So
Is that
sorry. Usually Grau just goes up and goes meat pies, please. And then he puts on a fistful of whatever coins he happens to have on the table.
Yeah.
And sometimes they give him change, sometimes they don't.
But you've just had the lesson on it,
Yeah.
right? And so you come up and maybe instinct takes over when the brand new pie gets brought to the table to
yeah.
cool for a little bit.
Yep.
So I think that's it. I think Garp, you see the bear just put the coins on the table, and they're quickly picked away, every last one of them. Wow, look at that. He gave them exact change for the number of pies that he wanted. And they gave him, a couple of pies and a warning that one of them was too hot.
Yep.
And immediately the entire lesson was gone. What are you going to do, Garp?
I think Garp would go up there and slam his hand on the fucking counter and be like, well, where's his change? You're scamming him.
And Grau is
Give
going to
me
go
a charisma.
oh, yes, my
A charisma
change. You need to give me back the exact change from what I paid you.
Yes. Give me the charisma check there, Garp.
23.
Excellent. They nod and go, he left before we could. We thought it was a tip. And they will pull out coins, and they will deposit coins onto the table and say, I'm so sorry, sir. I thought that was a tip. You left in such a hurry once you had your pie.
What is a tip?
A tip is extra money that you pay people because you like the job they do.
Oh, well,
We don't tip here, and I'll take the money and put it in my pocket. How much do I get?
Thanks.
Well,
You're scamming him.
well, wait. No,
one's
but you don't say have to give it back to me? Why are you taking it now?
Ah, exactly. I was merely testing you, and I'll pull the money out of my pocket and I'll hand it to him.
Oh.
Excellent. Growl, please lose 2 more gold, but gain 4 more silver.
Wonderful.
Nice work.
All right.
Mission successful.
Okay. The party has survived a day without trouble.
Barely.
Arrakis,
Yes.
give me your spell check, and then we're going to go back and take a look at Renatus the next day.
All right. Well,
Come on, Nick.
get that roll window up there. Let's go. So what you'll observe is that I have 15 intelligence, right? Which gives me a 65% chance to learn this spell. However, comprehend languages is not a shadow spell. It is, in fact, an alteration spell, which does mean that I can learn it. However, I'll take a penalty of 15%, which means we're looking at a straight 50-50 here. Now, I've learned from my time on Tombs of Scoria, you've got to be smart about the ranges on these things. So what I'm going for today, I'm going for a 20 to... No, I'm going for a 30 to 80. So is it... 31 to 80 is what I'm going for here.
31 to 80 on a D100.
That's what we're looking at.
Power.
Yeah.
Make it
Come on,
simpler.
Nick.
Should be
Let's
either
go.
odds
I
or
can
even
hear-
numbers.
I can hear Steven in my head. Get out of my head! Ah, fuck.
You know, if you had just done it the normal way.
Shut the fuck up, Neil. Okay? I'm not here for that. Just leave it alone. It's all random. It just makes me feel better.
Pathetic, Nick.
If you've
I
gone
didn't
for
really
odd
wanna learn
numbers,
I didn't really want to learn it anyway, because there's probably a really cool... That would be my last level 1 spell, so...
Mm.
You know. RP-wise, he would try and learn it. But metagaming-wise, I want it to fail, because I'm going to learn something better.
You tell him, buddy.
Yeah.
You tell those voices in your head. Now, Renatus, you've had all night to think about this gold transaction from the temple to the empire, and you don't know which priest it is. And there is, like, you know, one big temple in town, so that's probably the one from which they do it. Is there any way to tease out information about what should be maybe a clandestine thing to begin with, without tipping your hand?
oh yeah, for sure. I find just a random guard, and I start chatting him up, and I'm like, hey, my nephew, he kind of wants to be a guard, and I was wondering, he wants to go down to the capital. I assume it's to Veilbrook that the money is taken to.
We know the rumor you overheard was just that the local temple had to pay a certain amount of money to the empire because of the way that the money is flowing and the tax laws and this subsidy and that subsidy, and it was people bullshit, complaining about how money is
Taxes.
flowing around the town. And so you just know that the temple ends up paying the empire at the outpost here in town. And it might end up in Veilbrook eventually, but it gets paid locally to the local outpost.
Okay, well then that kind of changes my plan. Because my plan, so basically what I was thinking was, I was asking, it's like, oh, my nephew wants to be a guard, and he wants to go see Veilbrook as a guard, and I was like, so when does the next, caravan from the outpost go to Veilbrook? And the idea was that by knowing when that caravan goes, the priests have to deliver their money first. Like they just temporally, those things have to happen in that order, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I was trying to ask him.
Great descriptor. Temporally, I'm going to say that. Yeah. So temporally, these tasks need to be completed in a certain order.
Don't anger tempos. Yeah, so that was the idea. I was just like, bullshit. I was like, oh, my nephew wanted to be a guard. He wanted to go see a Veilbrook. What does it take to get onto like the caravan that takes the taxes to the city? And when does it happen? What week?
Yeah, the guard will pretty much shrug and be like, oh, the taxes are collected monthly. But the caravan, the tax man does his own thing. Can't get anywhere near the wagon. Otherwise, one of them orcs will put you full of arrows, or the spellcaster sitting on top will burn off your eyebrows, or it goes about once a month, depending on, how weather conditions can be.
Oh, okay. Fair. Or do you know when the last one went? Because my nephew wants to sign up. Although I think he wants to sign up with the... Can he even join? I don't even know how it works. This whole new empire thing is really confusing. Can he even join the Verassians? Or is that like an orc-only thing?
You can join with the empire if you want, but that doesn't mean you're necessarily going to be stationed here.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I guess I didn't realize that. I didn't think about that. I guess I was just trying to help him out, but I don't really know how it all works. What's it like being a guard? How do you... what's your day-to-day?
He looks at you a couple of times. Well, you watch things.
Ooh.
And then you gotta get in trouble. You gotta, make trouble when it... what do you mean? Haven't you ever lived in a town before?
Yeah, I lived in a
What
town
sort of
before.
yokel are you?
But I never really talked to a guard before. What's your favorite part of the job?
Let me roll a quick... Well, it's 20% off at taverns. in town.
Wait, you get 20% off? Dude, you could buy other people drinks and sell them to them 10% off, and you're still making money. You could be, you know.
Hey, we're here to still order. That'd be cheating.
I guess that is
cheating
true.
the system.
It would be dishonorable, I guess. I'm the kind of guy, and I'll kind of step closer to him. Like, you know, I'm the kind of guy. I'm just always looking for a way to make money or help people out. So I just thought I guess you are. Yeah, it makes sense. You're a guard. You believe in the law and all that sort of stuff. So do you like to drink a lot? That's your main hobby? You like playing cards?
I like a good brew like anyone else, and you know, we play together in the barracks.
Nice. I contemplate pickpocketing this card, but I think better of it. I'll ask him. And you must be popular with the ladies, you know, man in uniform, huh? And I kind of I give him like a very gentle, like, rib jab, like, you know what I'm saying, buddy? Ladies like a man in uniform.
Oh man, there's a reason that we carry long swords. You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
That thing needs 2 hands, I say as I slap my hand on his shoulder and reach into his coin pouch.
Oh, you fucking did it.
So smart.
I have to.
All right. Now, so he's right next to you and talking to you. So clearly he has a. Go ahead, just roll your check normally.
Come on, there's no way you can fail a fucking third one.
Oh, you done it. You pat him
mark.
on the shoulder, and then the casual like hand runs down the back, small pat on the butt, pulling the purse, or, you know, a hand delving in the pocket. Don't let me put words in your mouth or butt taps in your hand. But
Yeah, I'm surreptitiously grabbing the coin purse. I'm just like, all right, buddy. Let me know which tavern you're going to be in later. I'll give you a shout.
the blind pig. That's where we all hang out.
I was like, totally, man. I'll see you later. And I make off like a bandit.
All right, 20% of the 50 coins in his pocket were silver. And so that's what? 10 silver,
Hell
40
yeah.
copper? 10
Oh.
silver, 40 copper.
Give me that.
Easy peasy.
Money.
And the party lives for another day.
Easy.
Is there anything else you want to do in town,
No, I'm done.
y'all?
Cool, I'm good.
All right.
No,
Well,
not for me.
Let's go on our journey.
Yes.
All right, let's head all the way to
Alebrook.
Veilbrook. Let's go to Veilbrook. Let's talk to all the people, and it's gonna be fine. I just need Pokemon challenges to roll me 4D100 and have none of the results be too low.
No, I got you. These are all high as fuck. Look at this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's relative.
There's one day in your journey, the very same day that you set out from this tavern, when something doesn't go according to plan. Nick, can you roll me a D100?
Yeah. You've got to tell me the rules of engagement here, Neil.
You don't get to know.
You want high. You do
Tell
not
him-
want low.
Like, if it's high, do we get something good sometimes? Because an encounter doesn't have to be bad.
That's absolutely true. So
Okay. I'm rolling. Yeah, the dice window.
Roll.
Oh no, it's okay. It's there.
so yes, there's a
Let's
there's a
go.
professional
30.
here.
Okay, not bad.
All right. You know, that is the breaking point, 30 and above. 30 to 50 is the, well, I don't want to
That's
tell
where the
you,
good
but
shit is, Nick.
It's like
It's where the
okay stuff is.
less complicated stuff is. Yeah, it's fine. Oh,
Some giant
He's
spiders,
making happy
maybe.
noises.
Some bullywugs. Just your standard.
No.
Koibu fare. No?
it's the day that you set out as you're getting to the south side of Keyate and everyone's doing their last, like, did you fill your water skin? Garp, you got to make sure that, okay, your water skins are full. Everyone's got their thing. Okay, rations. Oh, well, hold on. Let's go get our rations for the day. Okay, now we got our rations ready to head out. And it's as you're doing this that a funeral procession begins to head south of town, and it's complete with clerics and priests. There's a body on like a stretcher bearer type thing with like in a little wooden box with flowers and cloth all draped over it, and they have the clear markings and trappings of one of the local noble families.
Are they the clerics, Veracity clerics?
Yes, there are Veracity clerics here, which in this situation
Makes sense.
is sensible. This is not necessarily Empire Veracity. This is like clerics of death because someone is dead clerics. And
Is
maybe
this ahead of us
for most
on the
people,
road or behind us on the road?
well, they start as everyone's gathering, and I think by the time the whole party is like ready to go, you're kind of watching the funeral procession, and they went down the road first. And normally we don't really care about, funeral processions that may be here, except that Renatus has been really interested in easy money.
Oh,
And you know where there's easy money?
at a funeral, baby.
Funerals, graveyards, the recently buried. And this,
Oh shit!
if there's priests and clerics
There's
and
a
all
magic
these
item
fancy
there.
trappings, like there's money here.
The whole
Can
town.
you convince the rest of the party to?
What level of
Grau has
nobility was
never-
here?
Grau has never seen anything like this before. Will Arrakis tell him about, how
Yeah, if you ask.
Yeah. He'll ask about it. He's very confused by this.
Well, what's happened here is someone's died, and the people that know that individual have come together for a sort of festival or a party to celebrate their life and kind of help them pass on to the next life.
So they killed him, and then they celebrate that they killed him?
No. He could have died for maybe somebody killed him, or maybe he's died of old age, or maybe he's died of a disease. But the people who love him want to celebrate. What's interesting about this is that the people here, the rank of them, the fact that there's clerics, and the trappings of the procession.
Yep.
This
I mean,
was Yeah,
They
this
just
probably means
swallow
this was
away
an
money
important
with dead? They don't just, put them somewhere and go somewhere else?
Many believe that what you are buried with, you take into the next life.
Oh. The next life?
I shrug. Yeah.
Oh.
people believe different things, but one of the many beliefs that people have is that when we die, we start a new life. Grau, do you remember being born
Well,
when
no.
your life started?
No.
Yeah, nobody does. And presumably, you won't remember what happens after you die. So people think that there's darkness, birth, and then light, and then death, which leads to darkness. And they think once you go to that darkness, you come back into the light again.
Indeed.
You come back to life.
Penumbra is said
Oh.
to recycle our souls and return us to life in a new form.
Maybe I died.
And to me, it's logical because this sort of pattern would make sense. We are made in the image of gods, or gods are made in the image of us, whichever way. I've heard the theological debates, but we go to sleep every night. We go to the darkness, and then we dream of these ethereal things that have no explanation, have no meaning, they have meaning, but we can't explain them. And then we wake up, and I think dreams are just reflections of our lives.
Well, maybe that's why I don't remember the start of my life, and then I suddenly was here and I could think and remember, and before that I was just maybe when I was
But you weren't a cub when you first got your powers, were you?
no,
So you'd been alive for some time before that.
maybe I was born like this.
Maybe.
Perhaps. If
Huh.
that were true, though, then the gods would have had a hand in it, I'm sure. My friend Grau, I believe. The more I know you, the more I understand your strengths and wonder as an individual. I do believe that you've been blessed by the gods. I think Nadinas herself has granted you your power.
Nadinus?
I'd agree with that.
He is a pure soul.
She
I
is
think
always
his,
with me.
Soul.
His disgust at the way our race conducts itself is a mirror for all of us, and if we were braver, we would stare into it.
That is an incredibly wise thing that you've just said, Arrakis.
Thank you. I did put my highest stat in wisdom.
As you say this, Grau is like, he's still in gnome form, but he's like cleaning his crotch again with his like toes. He's trying to...
My respect
Well,
for
are we
Arrakis
gonna-
goes up after he said that.
Are we gonna go get free magic items? Renatus?
I'll
Robert
turn,
Rave?
I'll turn to Garp and say, I mean, only if you believe. Here's the thing. If he dies with them and then we take them, does he get to keep them in the afterlife? Technically, we're just recycling. We're repurposing goods that have no further use. So it's a bit messed up to desecrate the dead. But maybe I could pickpocket some people at this funeral. I don't think I want to desecrate the dead. I think that is...
There is powerful spellcasters at this funeral. I suggest we keep walking.
That's a line I don't want to cross. I'll swindle, I'll steal, I'll even fight and kill to survive, but the dead should be left to rest. And having had first-hand experience with the undead, I think this is something I would rather not venture into.
You've tangled with the undead before, Renatus.
Well, maybe that's a story I'll tell you over a cup of tea.
I would love to hear it. I would caution and say, look to your waists, gentlemen. Your coin sacks are overfilled with gold. Your bellies are full with food and beer, and the legacy of our crimes are already catching up with us. I suggest that we make use of this gold. We continue our journey south, and we avoid getting into any more trouble.
Oh, but trouble is so much fun, Nick. It's so much fun to get into trouble.
There will be plenty of trouble to get onto into the future, but let us at least get to Veilbrook first, and you can reunite yourself with Lady Zara.
I think she was
some real fun.
I think she was interested.
I think she was too. Yes.
I don't know if I am.
Wait, why do you think this lady was interested in you?
Because
I
guess he just
you'll
gave a good
understand
impression.
another day.
Well, do you think I'll be able to get in the city this time?
I think we can swing it. We'll figure something out.
She asked for an audience with you anyways, so makes sense.
I'll bring my frog. Let's say this is my frog. You want to
Not
see
your
the city?
frog.
Yeah, but that's what
We
we'll
could
say.
put me in these
You
and
know
I'll
what? You're
pull
so
out the
annoying.
manacles.
I know you're not my frog. I know you're not my frog. Do you just not get the point I was trying to make? That
He's
we were
our
going to lie?
frog. He's our
That I was
frog.
going to lie. And I know you're not my... Why did you have to say it? Why are you like this? Sometimes, Garp, and I'll go off on a tirade, basically like the kind of stuff people would say about a teenager, like just being really tired of spending time with a teenager.
It's just,
But
it
it
doesn't
sounds-
matter. What if we use these and I'll pull out the manacles?
Do you want to be manacled in a hostile city as a frog person with no rights? People might want to kill... No, listen. Just...
You're a known criminal, Garp. If we walk you into the city in manacles, I'll be expecting you to be transferred over to the guards to be kept in the prison. I say we try and keep your identity secret as much as possible. Hide your nature.
Very wise, Renatus, I say. Or sorry, not Renatus. I say very wise,
Thank you.
Arrakis, giving a death glare to Renatus.
Thank you.
Garp is getting on my wick, okay?
All
Just
He stepped
out of
over the
touch.
line.
That's not the right one. The
Okay.
party
We should
travels.
walk him.
They opt not to
rob
go
from the
pilfer
funeral.
the dead.
Yes.
Do any of the people in the funeral procession lag behind within pickpocketing range?
No, it's a funeral procession.
Do any of them
Someone's gotta be
stumble
old.
over, spilling their gold all over the path?
No,
Do we like stay behind the funeral procession, or do we like try to get ahead of it?
it's socially appropriate to stay behind until the time that they turn off the road.
Like
That
I
is the
give-
the
Oh
correct
my God.
protocol.
I give absolutely. I'm in a rush. I'm getting to that town.
Oh, then you can just walk around them, no problem.
Well,
Okay,
don't forget,
well,
we go slow anyway because of. Oh,
Oh, that's true.
That's true.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
So yeah.
Fair.
All right. Cool. Actually, I'd forgotten about Garp's slowed movement speed. It's going to take you a little bit longer to get to Vale Brook, but that's fine. It's just days on the road, right?
He
You want
can
me
do
to
a little
You
leap.
need another 2 checks.
Yeah, here. Let me give you one, Koibu.
Yeah, give me 2d100, please.
All right, I got you.
But these are 80 plus, by the way.
See?
Plus.
We're good.
Nice.
93, 66.
93 not get us something cool.
Yeah, did we get anything for that?
No, low was the bad thing.
I guess this
What
area is
about
pretty
high?
well maintained, and there's just not that many monsters knocking around.
Exactly. The roads between towns here are quite safe. There's not much in the way of monsters. It's more like brigands and bandits that you'd have to deal with. There's the occasional monster or terror or creature or whatnot, but it's a pretty good area. You do encounter other people along your way, other travelers, all sorts of crap. We're not going to worry about that. But on the 26th of October, you will arrive at the gates of Vale Brook. Also, we need to shill out. We discussed this. You're traveling on the road, so you're not spending time in inns, which is fine. It does keep your costs down. It means that everyone is spending.
Mega bucks.
We really just need the price of rations.
I will make a little pitch at this point to reconsider the monthly expenses from our co-heroes as a nice way to handle this.
Bro.
Yeah,
Which is just, I think it's 50 gold per
2
level that you
silver.
pay a month.
sure. But for now, well, let's talk about that in between sessions. For now, it's 2 silver a day. You traveled 6 days, so everyone shell out 12 silver.
Right.
Fucking rip
Or
off.
1 gold, 2 silver.
That's stolen silver right there, baby. I
Let's
stole
go.
that.
Yeah.
Traveled for free.
Absolutely.
Okay. The gates of Vale Brook. I think we are due one last break.
Yep.
We are.
All right, we'll take a break. We'll try to keep it short, and we'll be back on the other side with our last segment in today's Save or Die Outcasts. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Save or Die Outcasts. You get to the gates of Vale Brook, or they're coming up on the horizon. Now, the big question that's on everyone's mind is, what are we going to do with the bullywug?
Yeah.
So what was the original problem with the bullywug? That's my real question. He's
He's a bullywug.
he's not welcome in this city?
Well, we have no
To
idea.
be fair, we don't know. And Verossi has a ton of monsters around here.
Orcs roaming.
So I actually think it could be fine.
Did we just assume last time?
We just assumed, yeah.
Oh, I think you just wear your hood and we just don't draw attention to you. Like,
I agree.
Renata should do the talking. I think everyone else should be as
Shut the fuck
unassuming as
up.
possible. Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah.
So
So
we say
we're
that
gonna
you're
take
here
some...
at request of Lady Zara and just call it
So if that's the plan, I'm going to take some time on our journey to explain to Grau the idea of like letting one person talk for the party, because sometimes people talking, like people piping up with ideas can sometimes derail the conversation and take control away. It's like Grau's not an idiot, right? He's just uneducated. So I explained to him that like sometimes it's good that we like agree upon a plan, only if it's really important to interrupt, and sometimes actually it's a really good it's a really good move to be quiet when there's like conversation with other people happening. So, and especially if you don't understand what's happening, you can observe and try to figure out what's going on.
Yeah.
Like for example, and I'll give an example to Grau, is like if you start hanging out with a new group of people, sometimes it's a good idea to kind of sit back and just observe how they interact with each other, so you can figure out like what sort of jokes do they make to each other, what sort of things are okay to joke about, what sort of things are not okay to joke about, what sort of topics of conversation are these people willing to have with each other, what is the common thing about them, how like are they respectful of each other, do they disrespect each other, do they care about each other's emotions, and I like go through all this kind of stuff. Like sometimes being silent and observing is actually like a useful move and a useful skill.
This is quite the complicated topic. I'm gonna roll a wisdom check, Neil, to see how much of this I absorb. Oh hell yeah!
Thank you.
I got all of it.
Natural 19, modified 32. That's a fantastic roll.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
He's socially.
You learn.
And he's going to be asking for like examples and maybe like examples from the past where we've done this and stuff like that, right?
Yeah, I'll give an example. Like, Grau has at certain points spoken up and given away information to people that should have been kept quiet because it put us into a worse position.
Yeah.
I'll even use examples of Grau's past behavior so he can be like, oh, okay, so that was actually a time where I messed up, and I'll be like, yeah, but it wasn't a big deal. It's not your fault. You didn't know.
Yeah. And how do we know beforehand who of us speaks for the whole party?
Usually, that's a little bit harder. So, for example, if we're talking about magic, it's probably a good idea to let Arrakis talk.
Mm-hmm.
If we're trying to be careful, it's usually the person who's being talked to, unless you have something important to say. So if a guard is talking to me, it's probably a good idea for Arrakis not to talk, because then he's drawing attention to himself and the guard might realize that there's a bounty on him.
Oh, so if we're in the forest and we run into a pack of wild wolves, for example, you guys will do all the wrong things to make them angry and make them attack you, but I know how to deal with them. I know how to talk to them.
Exactly.
So you should make me do the talking.
Exactly.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
You got it, man. I'll give him a little pat on the shoulder. Is he in bear form or is he in which form is he in?
He's a gnome right now.
I give him a little pat on the shoulder. I'm like, good man. Fair play to you, man. Little friendly pat.
All right.
Excellent. The party's going to go through the gates. They're going to take your weapons and armor, and they'll give it back to you when you walk out.
Including my leather armor?
Yeah. Yeah. If it was a leather jacket, no. But the leather armor is like bracers and shin guards and a plate, and like it's a full thing. And the whole idea behind taking armor is that armor is only used if you're really expecting combat. And so if you're going to be in the city and you're going to behave yourself, you don't need your armor.
Unless you're a guard.
Unless you're a guard, right? Right. But the only people in town who, like, wearing armor in town is a sign that you are working for the state, or you've got some special commendation that allows you to do whatever you want. It's a sign of privilege and honor within the walls.
Okay.
But this is also totally normal standard procedure, right?
I give up my... Can I keep... Is it a good idea for me to keep a dagger, or should I just give up everything?
Dagger's fine. Dagger's a tool. But a sword or a spear...
So nothing martial.
That's a problem. Right. So the glaive has got to go. Any bows that you have to go. The quarterstaff can stay. A dagger can stay. It's fine.
Okay.
Spell components are fine.
Spell components are generally considered fine. There's sort of the notion that, like, if a wizard is coming to town, you probably shouldn't try and take their spell. Like, they won't come in without their spell components. And there's so few of them, and you might need them from... It's just...
Yeah.
They generally let the spellcasters come in.
But
if there's ever any suspicion, if ever they think that there's a reason to bar you, they can ask you for your spell components, right? If they wanted to. But it's usually just a go on.
My spell components are particularly non-invasive. I mean, read magic is a clear crystal. That's about the biggest... strangest one. I've got sand for sleep. I've got
it really helps
string for unseen servant, and some
it
iron
helps
filings.
the Empire get along with the orders of magic if they hand wave the spellcasters.
Yeah.
Because then in return, if the spellcasters cause problems, they can always go to the Order of Magic and be like, yo, your dude fucked up, man. Help us find him.
Part of the reason why the magic schools are enforcing this is like a deal they've got with the Empire, basically. Like, we'll keep our order in line and you won't, like, interfere with us too much.
Yes. And magic, the magic users are sort of a separate class of people.
Yeah.
And it's the moment you walk in after handing all these things over, Garp has his hood up, but the guards have to, like, see his face when he comes in, like, pat him down. Everyone needs a pat down first off to break any illusions that there might be. Secondly, just so we can see faces, and we got, like, wanted lists of people that, we got to cross-reference and whatnot. So everyone gets a pat down. But once you're on in, you can pop that hood back up, and they don't give a shit about your bullywugness in
Sweet.
the slightest.
Very nice.
It's as you're waiting for the last member to be patted down. That growl, little gnome growl. You feel a tug from behind you, and a familiar voice says, "Oh my God, you're back! When did you get back? How long have you been back? I haven't seen you in a little while. What brings you back to Philbrook? I mean, I didn't know we said we weren't going to go out anymore, and it was going to be fine. But now you're here, and I haven't seen you in a while, and it was kind of a nice date that one time. And I don't know, but like maybe you could tell me how life has been going for you since we spoke last."
Hello. I remember you. Yes.
Do you remember my name?
It's
You don't remember my name.
You don't remember? You don't. I'll
don't
speak.
remember?
it's
That's
Su-
fine.
no,
That's fine.
no, no,
I
it's
just said no. You're
He
still
had
up there. I get
it's-
it. You're still up there. I'm gonna
it's Susie, right?
go.
Yes, I remember you. We went on a date together. Your parents wanted us to mate, right?
Yes, Mary, and me.
Yeah. Yes.
But you can't give me any children, so so that means that we can't get married because then we can't have kids. But
Well, maybe you
but
could.
if you can't have kids, there's other things we could do.
I look up at my friends being overwhelmed with this social situation. I sometimes you need to let other people from the party talk for you.
I will just say,
Susie,
Garp, Garp, you're not the person to talk here.
No.
Hello, we're down here. Hello.
I kneel down and I say, okay, well, listen, here's the thing. Grau hasn't really been in a relationship before, and I don't even think that he's ever made it before. Maybe he has in the woods, but he hasn't really done it in person, so he doesn't really know what's going on, and he doesn't even know if you're really propositioning him or if he should really take it up from you. He's also a little bit uncomfortable with the idea just because he doesn't know you that well, and you're kind of a stranger, and you're basically asking him to jump into bed with you. Do you get it?
No, that makes perfect sense, and that actually is exactly what I'm asking him. But sometimes you wake up on the one side of the bed and you're like, "Hey, the Berluda, goddess of passion, I'm here. You called me, I'm here." And then I see Growl, and maybe the stars are lighting up. But you're right. No, he doesn't even understand the concepts of humanity. And
I say,
Grau-
oh
Grau's
my God, I know what you can do. I know what you can do. Here's the thing. Give Growl some more time to get comfortable with you. Give him some more time to get to know you. And here's the amazing thing. Growl loves meat pies. You can take him out for some meat pies. He will devour meat pies. He might even devour your meat pie. Who knows?
Grau's gonna step up and put his gnome hand on your, I guess, waist, and because he can't reach your shoulder.
Thought he was going to say
Renatus.
meat pie then.
Okay, I think it's my turn to speak up now. I understand now what your proposition was, Susie. Unfortunately, it is not mating season, so I can.
I don't have the right bear pheromones. Is that right?
Yeah.
You need to smell my armpit. No, she doesn't. She doesn't. But she thought about it.
I need to. I think.
No, it was silly. I shouldn't have asked you. You just happened to walk by at the right time in the room, and I just thought maybe it was a sign from the gods and everything was lining up. But no. This is ridiculous. You're a bear. You're a bear. That's wrong, right? But you can consent, right? It's the Harkness rule. If you can talk and if you can consent, and yeah, it makes sense. And you're of age, right? How old are you? What's the age of consent for bears?
I think maybe it wasn't my time to speak up after all.
It's fine. No, I'm sorry. I forget I ever came up to you. Okay, just forget we had this interaction. I'm gonna go now.
No, you
okay?
nailed it. You nailed it, Susie. Susie, you're in. You're good. Just keep trying.
She looks at
You can put some meat
Growl
pies.
Grau's
him out for dinner.
gonna, Grau's gonna look up at Renatus and go like,
I'm saying, but
She will see the emotion and she will run away with a in her voice.
and I Renatus, I collapse laughing, and I'm like on my knees beside Grau. I'm like, I'm so sorry, but I had to. How many opportunities do you get to encourage a gnome to date a bear? I'm sorry, Grau. I apologize.
you Do you think they could have helped us find the people that we're looking for?
Oh,
That's kind of what I was going for, but
probably. Yeah, that's on me.
uh, it's okay. Can I ride on your shoulders the rest of the way through town?
Sure thing. And I'll
Yeah.
kneel down to let Grau get onto my shoulders.
I guess the gnomes really like me, huh?
It could be
Well,
useful
party.
to us.
We gotta go to the magistrate, right?
You go to the magistrate. You go to the building. It's right next to the castle.
Wait.
You-
I'm not sure that I go to the magistrate. Are you trying to go to the library?
Yeah, you should go to the library.
You're going to go to the Temple of Mathis and Saphia,
There you go.
which is working as the library in this town. All right, so the party's splitting. You're going there. Grau, you are riding on Renatus's shoulders, so you're going to the magistrate's building. And Garp,
I'm going with them to the magistrate.
okay.
Yeah, so you can see a man, working his charisma on a lady.
Okay. We're
Yeah,
gonna do the
I wanna
magistrate's
see
building
this.
first. We'll do the library second if we have time. You get to the magistrate's office. It is a small fort in town. They've had to level some low-income housing in order to make room for the large office building, the large fortress that works as the magistrate's home here. There's guards at the walls. It's a wooden palisade walls, and there's a section that is being converted to stone. But it's going to take time. You got to put up the wooden walls first. You can come up to the gate. There's some, Hulking guards on the gate. There's a pair of humans and a quadrant of orcs. The human guards kind of first and center and sees you with this gnome on your shoulders and this bullywug next to you walking up, and the guard, everyone else is like leaving the magistrate's building, plenty of walking room around it, sort of like a creepy vibes. You don't want to get too close to that place, but the three of you are coming straight up, and so the guard will step away from the gate a little bit. He's got a club at his side. He's just got leather breastplate on and leather bracers and shin guards and the little leather skirt and some shorts on underneath that, with his like thick, bulging, hairy thigh muscles sticking out underneath the leather skirt. And he'll cross his rippling arms and a few feet from the wall say, "You there, with the gnome upon your shoulders, what
Hello.
business do you have with the magistrate?"
That's really bad timing. Excuse me.
Excuse my
okay.
friend,
It
he has a
happens
coughing
to all
fit.
of us.
I will take over for him. The magistrate is looking for my friend here.
She wanted to
Are
talk
you
to me.
wanted?
She
He
wanted
is-
to ask me some questions, but I don't
Yes.
think in like the, take me to the dungeon and thumbscrews. It was more like,
No,
ask me
no.
what I know.
They are
Well,
friends.
Take
What
him
is
to the
your
dungeon.
name?
He has proposed
citizen?
for. They are friends.
I tenderly take Grau off my shoulders and put him down. And I take out Abigail and I make her run across my shoulders, and I'm like, I am the magnificent Renatus Fur.
I will see if she is waiting your appointment.
Oh,
Wait here.
thank you.
And he'll leave you on red for about half an hour as he goes inside. Takes a while to find her, and hey, there's a guy named Renatus outside. He says he's magnificent and you want to see him. Right, like she's doing other stuff. He's got to find her. He's got to wait. He's got to deliver the message, get a response, come back out. And finally, he comes back out with his arms still crossed, as if they've been crossed the entire time while he was walking around on the inside. He says to you, "You're in luck. Magistrate has time to see you this evening. Come 1 hour after sundown."
Oh,
And does she want us too? Or just him alone?
We come as sort of
She
a
did not
3-for-1 deal.
specify.
We'll come.
well, lads. Looks like I got a date. I'll have to find you guys a nice tavern to sit pretty in. Or wait, do you want to come?
Only a wise party member was here to tell you that they probably
need
shouldn't
to-
come.
I need to see this. If the magistrate's hitting on you, then I need to be there.
I want to come.
Smell his
She's
fingers
not
when he
going
gets
to do
back
it
to
if
the
you're
tavern.
here.
Yeah.
My
Listen.
dude.
You guys are
Sorry.
gonna harsh. Listen, you guys are gonna harsh my vibe. We'll say, look, I'll be back and I'll tell you the whole story. All right, and you can trust me. Why would I lie?
What if she kills you?
Oh, I had
Then we would die anyways. You can go alone.
That's why
Why
snoozing
would she?
is worst
Why
way
would she
to
kill
go.
me? I'm useful. I helped her.
I shrug. Come with me, Grow. We can hang out while he's off. Getting off, I guess.
It could be like a bit of a Black Widow situation, though. You know, she's evil Black Wizard. Maybe she'll do the deed and then consume you. Use you for blood magic.
I don't think Renatus is actually interested. He was just flirting with her, but he's
she's
more than willing
Interested.
to woo
She's
her.
hot.
It's gonna get
She's
old.
hot. But
She was like an 18 or a 17.
He's faithful to his
banging.
wife. He's faithful,
Oh
man.
shit, he's got a wife. I
Oh,
forgot.
there we
Yeah.
go.
He's faithful. He's not. He's not a
Mate,
player.
do you think she's being faithful while you're out
Do
here?
you
in
think
the
she's
swamp?
waiting for you?
Is she fuck? I've heard a lot about Mrs. Fair.
Listen, she
Hey,
could,
hey,
she
now.
could greet me in lingerie. Okay, my man Renatus, he believes in true love and he wants to get back to his wife. He's not above flirting to try and get what he wants to try and get back to his wife, but my man is above temptation. Okay, he's a paladin. Okay.
He's been trying to pick pockets while he's out there. You know, like sort of
All right.
flying with her. Yeah.
Well, Nick,
Yes.
you're going to get to the library. And it's an impressive building. It is a temple. It has guards on the outside. There is a cleric standing watch at the front gate as well. There's these big, heavy bronze doors that lock into the stone walls. It's got tile roofs. It's a practically a fortress in and of itself. And the big set of bronze double doors are large enough that there's like a single door within the doors that can be opened just to like have a more guardable entrance route.
Yes.
And as you approach, there is a cleric out front, a cleric of Saphia, goddess of wisdom, and she will
Okay.
see this wizard approaching. And as you walk up the steps to the grand temple, which doubles as a library, she will give you an appropriate gesticulation of honor and respect, and ask you very politely for your library card.
Oh, I do apologize. I hadn't realized you had a library card system. This is my first visit. How does one procure such a card?
It is a deposit of 100 gold.
When do I get the deposit back?
I'm sorry. It is a fee of 100 gold for a library card that will last you a year.
Understood. I look in my
You have
pouch.
unlimited access to the books in the meantime, and
Right.
as long as you do not leave the library with them.
I'm afraid I only have 99 gold and 7 silver on me.
I suggest you make 3 silver.
Well, thank you. I shall be back shortly.
Oh my god, they
Of
really
course.
wouldn't let him in for fucking 3 silver?
I'm actually not going to give every single penny I've got. I'm going to return to my party.
The
and
price is the
acquire their
price.
Gold.
And if you can't afford the entry fee, like you're probably not the sort of company that they'd want to keep around.
Exactly.
Yeah, books are expensive, right? Each page of your spell book costs like 100 gold to get made, to get treated and cured, and the
No.
proper wards placed to make sure that they're will absorb the oil from your ink,
No.
but or the soot, but not the water.
We're not doing 100 gold a page, are we still?
Probably not. We're probably doing like 10 gold a page.
That is
It's still
insane.
expensive.
No, it's still expensive. That's fine.
It's wildly expensive.
Well, I head
That
back
makes-
to the tavern then to try and take money from my party.
Yeah, I mean, I fucked off.
Yeah.
With Grow, so yeah.
The whole party has a time to wait before sundown, and so everyone gathers together at the preordained tavern, and heads inside. And you can see that there's maybe the reason this tavern called you is because they're very accepting and multicultural, and that's what you see here. There's an orc, half orc, 3 goblins, a dozen humans, 6 dwarves, but like with weird fucking eyes that you don't quite trust, a group of gnomes, but like not friendly, fun forest gnomes or weird little tinker gnomes. These look like murderous, I'm going to flay you alive little gnome creatures. Who knows what specific subrace that thing is. There's a lot of Varasi trappings everywhere, but also, like, it's got a good fire, there's good music going on inside, and the drinks are only 3 copper instead of 5.
it's got cheap drinks, right?
Yeah.
While I've been walking through this town, is there any sort of, like, Witcher 3 style notice board of jobs that need doing, like a way to make money? Because I'm wondering if maybe, rather than trying to take money off the party, if I could, if we could get a job, make a bit of money.
Ooh,
So maybe
I
there's a
like
notice
this.
board, or maybe I'm going to ask at the tavern if anyone's looking for work.
Yes. You can find a notice board in town.
Yeah.
What sort?
I am looking
Rather
for...
than me coming up with like a list of
Yeah,
50
yeah.
things.
I'm looking for something that involves either wizarding or fighting. Because I feel like that's where our strengths lie. Maybe stealing something as well, but I don't think somebody would be advertising a job for stealing something, obviously.
It would probably be euphemistically like acrobat needed for
Yeah.
complicated, blah, 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 blah. And I'm good at climbing walls, man. I can do it.
I've lost the key to my favorite chest, lockpicker needed.
Yes.
Unfortunately, I don't know anyone who can pick locks, so...
Yeah, I'm
First
not
off,
your guy.
there's a bunch of job postings about work for the Empire, travel the world, be well fed, be well clothed, right? There's a couple of postings for specific positions in and around the city, also working for like the kingdom in this situation. There are some job postings for like caravan guard. We're headed north of the Maw. We need someone to, come and travel with us and keep everyone safe. That doesn't work for the Empire or the city, just like private security.
Yeah, so that's
There's
an
other
option.
like private security around town where they needed someone to work full time for the job style that you're looking for. There's only 2 listings.
Okay, hit me.
One, they need a tracker in Swampside that specializes in bullywug hunting.
Oh.
And 2, I was really hoping I'd come up with the idea by the time I got to the end of my sentence. It normally works. I
knew there was some way.
How much are they offering for the bullywug hunting?
It just says inquire within.
Yeah.
The other one is there's an onkeg problem. The farmlands nearby, some onkegs have traveled into the area. They're burrowing creatures that spit acid, and they've been like harassing the locals and like eating their crops. And technically it's the kingdom's job to deal with this problem. And normally the kingdom would employ their knights to go deal with this problem. But most of the knights have been called up by the Empire to go serve in the Empire. And so local security is like...
Is there any description of the onkegs, like how big they are?
It says one onkeg has been burrowed up near the village of Gilmheld, and that, at least 3 onkegs came out of the hole, but then retreated back in.
Shit. Well, okay. Can I take the notices?
No, it's outside of a build. There's a post, and then there's a building behind it with a person who manages the post. So you would
Does the
go
onkeg
inside
job
and
have
talk about-
Oh, it doesn't have a fee on there.
No, you'd have to talk to the person inside, but you can go and inquire and ask.
Yeah, no, I think I do. I think I go in.
Yeah, well, he tells you the same thing. They're normally soldiers to deal with this sort of thing, guards, but they've been called off, and so security of this type in Gilmheld outside of town could be done by a hireling. They're offering 10 gold per Ankh head that you bring back.
That's not that much.
Two
What about the
for children, for the babies, the hatchlings?
what about the job in Swampside tracking the bullywugs? How much does that pay?
Oh, that one involves murder. Yeah, that one. There's a bullywug came into town, killed a bunch of guards, set the place on fire, ran back into the swamp. They need a bullywug tracker out there. That one pays 85 gold.
85 gold for the head of the bullywug?
Well, you got to talk to the locals in Swampside. The notice is posted here. They'll give you the details. I think they want him alive, not dead.
It's for me, dummy.
Yeah, no shit. Fucking shit.
The way they spoke, it sounded like a dead bullywug wasn't going to work. They needed this particular one, and they needed it alive. But you got to talk to the locals in Swampside for that.
Got it.
If I'm there, I will take that notice down.
No, I don't think you are there.
No, I don't know.
No, you're children.
I've only just travelled all the way from Keygate. I'm not about to head back up to Swampside. I'm interested in these Onkegs, though. They're dangerous creatures. I have to say, 10 gold feels a little bit light. But, you know.
Shrugs.
All right, well.
You know, hard times are tough. If you're not willing to do it, somebody else is.
Well, I'm interested, but I gotta run it past my party. I can't kill these things alone. I'll speak to them. I'll probably be back in the morning.
Splendid.
All right, nice to meet you, buddy. I leave and head out to the tavern to meet the rest of my party. Are they perchance all there?
Yeah, I think so.
They say, well, I'll definitely want an update on how things went with the Magistrate. But I headed to the library to try and get that information on the tower that we're looking for. And unfortunately, you need a card to get into the library, and it costs 100 gold for a year, which is more than I have. So I took the initiative and I went looking around town to see if there's any work. Apparently there's Ankegs harassing the farms around a village to the north of here, Gilmheim. We actually passed through it on the way down here. They're offering 10 gold per head.
What is it? Do I know what an Ankeg is?
Big insect that spits acid is pretty much what you know. Burrows underground.
Is this like a... Like you could die doing this? Like, or is this like a job that
Oh,
they were
totally.
sent
It's a
real
dangerous
soldiers
monster.
to do?
Absolutely.
Is this like the kind of thing we would maybe want to hire like a mercenary archer to help us with or something? Or
Yeah, we could, but at 10 gold a head, it's like, there's not going to be much money left in it for us at that point.
well, how much, we can kill a few of them, right? I mean, if we dig down, we can get the babies.
You know? Maybe. I feel like we shouldn't rely on hirelings for this, but potentially we could. What do the rest of the party think?
I mean, that's what the kingdom is doing. They're trying to rely on hirelings, you all, to do
Here's
this.
the thing. If we get a
Subcontract.
cleric or a, I don't know, some sort of martial ranger type character, we're only we're reducing the split we get by a little bit. But it does increase the success chance of the mission to have someone who can, you know, heal us in the heat of battle or take out an Ankeg that pops up out of ground from afar, right? Ready attacks, all that sort of stuff. I'm just thinking it's prudent. I don't know if you've noticed, but and I'll like hold out like my withered arm. It's like the body isn't the weapon it used to be.
Yeah, your tongue is still sharp, Renatus. I say, looking around the bar here, there's certainly a few folks in here that look like they could handle themselves in a fight. Maybe you can inquire as to hiring one. Maybe we'd pay them, I don't know,
share?
something like 2 or 3 gold a day, and see how many kills we can get.
Yeah, we can talk to them. And I'll see how the rest of the. I assume the rest of the party is here. I'll see how they feel about it. Do we want to?
But I did think that perhaps the Magistrate would have something for us to do. I'm not sure if you've spoken to her.
Oh yeah, I'll explain to. I'll say. We went to the Magistrate. She was looking for me, but she wasn't. She is available this evening, but she wasn't available when we went. So after sundown, and I'll look out the window of the bar and like what time is it now?
The sun is setting.
Yeah, I'll say so. I'll probably be heading back over there in a little while. I was thinking of going alone. I think that would be prudent because it's me she wants to see, and the less she
agree.
knows about our party, the better.
Yes, the rest
I
of us
agree.
are all somewhat, well, various stages of unwelcome, I would say.
Makes sense to me.
Why don't you
sounds
go
like a
see
plan.
if you can get a better offer for us, and if not, then well, depending on Grau and Garp, maybe we could go hunting some bugs on the morrow.
Yeah. I think we can do some
Grau,
bug hunting.
Garp?
I think this is nonsense, but I'd like to get on with finding, like we said, a cleric, and maybe I got plenty of meat pies. I don't need anything else, and I
Sad
don't know
thing
why
is
I
we're
should go killing fellow creatures of mine.
No, no,
We need
creatures
money.
of yours. Yeah, we need gold, Grau.
Do we need gold to find the cleric?
Well, we need gold to get into the library. Yeah, we're gonna find out where the elves are.
Why do you think this is a Why do you think this is silly, Rao? Could you explain?
I don't see how this helps us.
Well, we could just give.
We're just gonna go kill more stuff.
Well, in theory, we could also just give Arrakis the money. We are a party,
Huh?
and presumably, if we do then manage to find even the information that we gather could be valuable, even if we don't act upon it. So we might get a return on investment, and also the library membership is for a year. And I don't have any plans to die anytime soon or make myself an enemy of this town. So it's not like we couldn't research other things. Presuming Arrakis doesn't get an eye whisper killed.
I would argue that given your relationship with the Magistrate and the fact that we may have a subscription to the library here, that this town represents a good base of operations now that Autumn has turfed us out. We might be safer here than basically anywhere else.
You know, you have a point, and there's plenty of work to be had here. This could be a really good base of operations. You know
At
what?
least for now.
You're right. It tolerates Garp, which, to be honest, even I struggle with on the best of days. How could you?
I agree. I see your point, Grau. These beasts are dangerous, and killing for killing's sake perhaps is unpleasant, but these monsters are killing farm animals, destroying crops, eating cows, snapping trees. They're a pest, and left unchecked, they'll only grow in number and encroach further onto the village's land.
Yeah, maybe if the humans didn't lock up all the animals, they wouldn't have to worry about them getting killed by other animals.
I think you'd struggle to find sheep and pigs surviving out in the forest on their own.
Well,
Living with us is their only
Especially if I'm out there, am I right, guys?
Hey.
you've clearly never ran into a wild boar, Arrakis. Not a.
Oh, I've had plenty of plenty of my friends are wild boars. You wouldn't even know. They're great.
bacon from a wild boar is not quite the same.
Sometimes we fight and I scratch it. They're nice.
Garp, you've not given a view?
I'm down for whatever gets us the you doing your wizarding stuff more. If you want money, I'll pull out 73 gold I think I have. Here.
You're not
Toss
using
it
it?
over to you. What am I going to use it for besides lodging?
I look at the other two.
Garp. We need to talk about this. Even before you
About
get
what?
turned back, you have to accept that he threw you out. He doesn't want you to come back.
That's not true. And I'll throw you the gold, and we'll talk about this another time, Renatus. I don't have time for this tonight.
Okay.
If we're going to do this, then I think we should all pay equally. I don't think that Garp should shoulder the cost totally. 25 gold each it would be. We can share the card, I assume.
Well, presumably we will do this after I have my discussion with the magistrate. I don't
agree,
know
yeah.
how much he likes me. I'm going to be honest with you. I got the impression that she uses violence in the same way that a bloodthirsty magistrate of the Varasi Empire would.
Yeah, I'd imagine that's probably correct.
All
So
right.
keep your wits about you.
So this
Before
is
we
where.
go, oh, sorry. I was gonna say before we go and end for the night, just a heads up, we are going to be announcing something pretty cool for the patrons tonight on the after show. New patron benefit will be announced, and you'll be able to check it out.
Potato
and-
McWhiskey will finally
benefit
make
from
his
it.
collection of gay porn available to you personally if you subscribe to the Patreon tonight.
4K
I've
resolution
been asking
as
for
well.
that shit for years.
There
Is
you
this
go.
my collection that I've collected or the one I've made?
No, that's
Those are
all the
two.
ones that you have
Depends on the
started in
tier.
personally. Yeah.
Okay.
Goblin tiers,
So-
just get your collection.
If you want to watch all of our after shows, we're about to go do one. After this ends, we're going to do the after show where we're going to answer patron questions. It's $5 per creation right now. So make sure you go to our Patreon, patreon.com/saveordie. You can check out all the previous ones and join at the Goblin tier, and you'll be able to hear the announcement and check out the after shows. So thanks.
Thanks, guys.